It's out of my hand, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hand. You can never take away the power of my You can never take away my It's out of my hand, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hand. You can never take away the power of my soul.
like it's way too early to be opening up the venue at this hour, man. I should still be in bed. I'm surprised Double or Nothing is still not on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, today, awake, refreshed, level-headed, caffeinated, we will talk Double or Nothing. We had guys being set on fire, we had electrocution, we had waterboarding. We had Gangrel emerge from the depths of hell. We had betrayal. Everybody was asleep halfway through this fucking thing last night. And our favorite scumbag is back. A lot happened last night in Vegas. Jesse and I will talk about all of the most important things to come out of AEW's flagship pay-per-view, celebrating 5 years of Double or Nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you. I'm not gonna judge. If you have an alcoholic beverage right now at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I salute you. Not me. I gotta wake up first. I got my coffee. So whatever you're drinking this afternoon, whatever it is, hot, cold, non-alcoholic, alcoholic, whatever it may be, we're all going to the venue this afternoon and we're drinking what we got. And we're going to talk some wrestling. So when I get there, I want to know on this Memorial Day, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Double or Nothing post show for Memorial Day, May 27th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS venue. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on your Memorial Days, wherever you may be. And we... Man, there's nothing better than someone walking into the venue and dropping a $100 bomb and buying everybody around before the stream even starts. Thomas Franco with a $100 super chat. Hey, JD, here is a bomb for a long night and the return of the great MJF. Now, just please, let's remove Chris Jericho from a wrestling ring ASAP. Thomas Franco, thank you so very much for being here on this Memorial Day. Just like you guys, thank you very much for joining us on your Mondays. I am joined by the Chi-Town Smark, Jesse himself. Brother, what is going on, man?
What's going on, bro? How you feel?
I feel refreshed now that we don't have to go live at 1 a.m.
Man. What a show.
Listen, I enjoyed myself last night. I thought it was a very good show.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I thought AEW did a lot of things right last night. Listen, man, we can sit here and we can flame the weekly television product because it's been less than, let's be honest, it's been less than. But, Jesse, what's the one thing that you and I have been absolutely consistent on for the last 5 years? Is it not that Tony Khan is Mr. Pay-Per-View?
He is. He is Mr. Pay-Per-View, and once again, he has delivered. It's been a constant.
Yes.
You know, I remember we had the back and forth with a few of the talent backstage about, well, if the pay-per-views are going to be good anyway, then just be quiet and wait for the pay-per-view and enjoy it. Like, does that mean we have to not enjoy ourselves on the way there? Can we get both?
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's just the AEW cultists moving the goalposts back. It's something that happens with every fan base, with every promotion that we watch. It's nothing really new, but I enjoyed myself. Jesse enjoyed myself. We will get into everything that we liked. We will get into the criticisms as well. We're not going to take it easy on some of the things that we didn't like and some of the things, quite frankly, that we felt shouldn't have been on this show that's really made it feel like forever. I mean, I don't think, give or take, Jesse, this show didn't go off the air my time till 12:40 Eastern time.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's about 40 minutes longer than usual, man. These shows usually have a hard stop at 12 o'clock, midnight.
Yeah, it was, I mean, again, we all know, we all felt it, we all watched it. We know it was a long show. We get it. We got it. That's why we're here this morning and not last night. But let's talk about what we got in that long show.
And I'm going to leave it up to you, man. I want you to start us off. What is the most important takeaway? What is the one thing you want to start off the discussion with today for the Double or Nothing post show?
The bounty hunter revealed himself.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Woo!
Now.
What?
Now, nobody here wants to talk about the fucking bounty hunter, bro.
What?
Come on, man.
It was the biggest reveal of last night.
That's why this guy is upstairs, alone, in the venue, and I'm downstairs where all the fucking cool people drink in the basement, my mother's basement. Yeah, really. We'll get to the bounty hunter, and we'll get to Brian Keith joining the learning tree, because I'm sure everybody's excited about that one. But really, Jesse, what do you want to talk about to discuss the biggest takeaways from Double or Nothing?
Well, there was a lot.
Yeah.
All right. There was my fucking mic pole. There was a lot. But there was the most important segment of the whole show. I even went back and watched it a couple of times to absorb everything he said. And that is obviously Mr. Maxwell Jacob Freeman making his return. I don't think this was anticipated. I think a lot of us thought that he would be out for a little while. And it's good to see him back. He made his return a la 2002 Triple H, the early return, looking in great shape. And I tell you what, right now, man, first and foremost, I don't know what they're paying MJF, but it needs to be an ungodly amount, because I'm telling you right now, we have now witnessed what AEW is like with MJF, and then we got this big stretch of what AEW is like without MJF. And I'm telling you right now, he is back to put the company on his back again, and it is desperately needed. In that segment, in that promo, it feels like the lull that we went through for the last few months is finally been lifted. The guy hasn't done anything yet. He only did was come back and cut a fucking promo. But it feels like, my God, the amount of energy that he brought with him And it feels like in this gesture of getting a tattoo on his leg and everything like that, he is really here to wave the AEW flag. And they've been taking a lot of shit and a lot of heat, and a lot of it is justified because it's just not been as entertaining as it could have been or should have been. I feel like he's here to squash all of that. I feel like that TK is taking a beating on social media and everything else, and I feel like MJF is here to be his fucking his watchdog. I feel like he sicked his fucking pit bull on all his detractors, and he's put MJF out there to wave the AEW flag, and I don't think there's anyone out there that can do it better than he can. The guy is just flat out fucking amazing. I cannot find a flaw in this guy's overall package. He has beyond it. He is a franchise fucking player, and you can tell by his energy alone. I think that we use the term game changer a lot, and we were talking about all these other people and everything else. This company only has one game changer, and it's fucking Maxwell Jacob Freeman, bro.
Yeah, I don't know what Tony Khan is paying Max. None of our business, but I am here to tell you it's probably not enough.
No.
Whatever it is not enough. Jesse, you and I talked about MJF quite a bit during his run. Tremendous run that it was as AEW World Champion last year. Obviously, the injuries derailed him. The storyline that was the Devil and Adam Cole being revealed as the Devil and then Undisputed Kingdom being revealed as the Henchman. A lot of that had promise. But the injuries to Adam Cole, first and foremost, at Grand Slam last year, and then Max just pushing his body to the limits, trying to give us the best wrestling matches he could possibly give us. Ultimately, a mixture of both of those things broke everything down. And I don't know where the story was going. We had a pretty good idea where it was going. But the one thing that you and I talked about was Max doing the over-the-top babyface gimmick, the character work, the kangaroo kick, the all of a sudden character shift from him not trusting anybody and cursing people out to being somewhat of a decent human being and then trying to level with people, and he's putting his trust in people. That wasn't MJF for the first 4 years of AEW. And all of a sudden he meets Adam Cole and this friendship becomes the best thing on television. And you and I both saw that this isn't going to last. This is not where Max is going to end up as far as, you know, finality. This is not going to be the end-all, be-all for MJF. The one thing that you and I said was this was basically going to transform him into being whatever he makes it out to be, but similar to what Stone Cold Steve Austin did, you know, and I want to reference, you know, the $1 Million Man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? And then all of a sudden, the flip of the switch with the King of the Ring promo, we got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Max was trending towards going to that route, and I feel like that's where it was going. He was going to be a babyface because everybody was going to obviously be on Max's side more than Adam Cole's side in that feud. And we would get the old MJF mixed with this new MJF. Babyface MJF, but being MJF that we all fell in love with in year one. The dick, the prick, you know, the guy who shits all over everybody, has no care in the fucking world for anybody. That is what MJF was going to be. Last night, I said on social media, that promo, the visual of him in the 2002 Triple H jacket, the fire in his promo, the crowd reaction, that was his Stone Cold Steve Austin moment last night, bro. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Max even said all the babyface shit, the kangaroo kicks, the babyface garbage, the mask, all this bullshit out the window. It's fucking gone. So he basically himself squashed everything that people have been shitting on last night. Moving forward, he's giving us MJF, but this is the MJF that's not the fucking villain. He's not the heel that everybody's going to try and rid the company of. This is legitimately MJF, the Stone Cold Steve Austin fucking rebel babyface that's here to carry this company on his back at 27 years old for a second time in 5 years. And with the reaction that we got last night, I don't give a shit who Tony Khan signs. You can bring in Will Ospreay. You can bring in Kazuchika Okada. You could bring in Mercedes Moné. You could go out and get Becky Lynch. You can go out and get anybody that you think fits the umbrella of this is where the best wrestle. None of them, and I swear on everything that I fucking own, none of them will have a tenth of what MJF brings to the table. None of them will be as important as what MJF brings to the table, because everything that he said in that promo last night, Jesse, go all in on yourself. He is the greatest homegrown talent that this company has, and you see what he's done from year 1 to year 5, and none of those people that I just previously mentioned have had the impact that MJF has had on AEW. Nobody. Invaluable is his fucking presence on this show and in this company. I'm not saying that because Jesse and I are fans of MJF. I've been doing this for far too long, and I've been watching too much pro wrestling to see them come and go, people fucking dying, people just, falling flat on their face with all the hype and then not living up to the expectations. This is it, bro. This is the guy. This is the guy for Tony Khan. This is the guy for the company. I don't give a shit who else is there. He's it.
He is it. He can stop going out to look for that big name signing. He can, stop trying to go look for that game changer. He was always right there. He was always there in front of him. He's been homegrown, and the guy is just amazing. He came out, and right away he immediately deaded all of the feuds and everything he had going on before that. He deaded all that shit. Well, what about Adam Cole? He was the devil. He's supposed to want his revenge. All right. He came back and killed Adam Cole. Adam Cole. He's done. All right. That devil thing. All right. He got his revenge. He's done with Adam Cole. What about the bidding war of 2024? He signed. He's done. That bidding war is over. All right. We're going to get fresh stuff moving forward. And he's here to make everything that happens on the show interesting. Dynamite has already become must-see TV. Just because the fact that MJF is going to be back there with a live microphone, giving us his agenda, letting us know what's going on and shit like that. We get to see what the direction of MJF will be going forward. This company sorely missed him. And we now know what it's like to not have him, and everything is better with him there. Absolutely everything. TK turned a lot of corners on this pay-per-view last night. He opened up a lot of doors. No pun intended for Forbidden Door coming up. But I'm in it just after this pay-per-view. I'm already excited to see what we're going to get in the summer of 2024 for AEW.
Yeah. Dynamite is definitely must-see, for sure. Just with his presence being back on the show. The fact that he deaded everything, the mask, the devil, kangaroo kick, the bidding war of 2024, all those things were great in the beginning stages. All right, here we got storyline. Who's betraying MJF? Best friends, right? One turning on the other. Bidding war. The bidding war worked when MJF was a fucking massive heel. The bidding war worked when Punk was there. As soon as Punk left, it was over. As soon as Punk got fired, all that shit went out the window. So that's gone, rightfully so, good. The devil, there was so much layoff in between that if it does happen, I'm not going to complain about another MJF and Adam Cole match because the two matches that they had were fucking unbelievable. So I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want to see them wrestle again, but do they really need to? There's so much time in between with both being injured at the same time. I don't really give a shit. I would rather Adam Cole move on in one direction and MJF in another. The only thing that I did not like, and this is just me being a fucking critic, and being critical of little things here and there. The only thing I didn't like about this segment was it definitely seemed way too telegraphed. And what I mean by that is Adam Cole, after Roddy lost, came out, got a big entrance, did the boom. He's out there cutting a promo. Why is he out there? He said, I should be in the back with Roddy after, what Will Ospreay did to him, and he lost the International Championship. Great. Go be with Roddy. What the fuck you doing out there? Nobody expected you here. Nobody really asked for you to be out there. Now, if they really kind of tightened it up and played into the fact that Adam Cole was out there and he was looking after Roddy and he was with the rest of the Undisputed Kingdom, and then he said, you know what? You guys go take care of him. I got something to say in the ring. And then that leads him to cutting the promo, and then MJF comes out. Everything just felt very forced and very telegraphed. I'm glad that it happened, and I'm glad that they're just moving on, but things could have been a little bit better to make it feel a little bit more kind of boom, 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 natural and free-flowing, and just give it a reason for it happening. But again, that's just a minor criticism. That's the cynic in me. It is who I am. But It absolutely needed to happen. I'm glad that he's back. And
Yeah, that's definitely you being an asshole. So.
I mean, that's just the way that I am. I mean, it's not to take an... I mean, you know, it happens in pro wrestling. You know, no, obviously, nobody gave a shit last night. Everybody was fucking over the moon that he's back. But, you know, it's just that little thing. But what he does moving on from here, you know that he's been at home stewing. Will Ospreay's in, Mercedes is in, Okada is in. You know, he never wanted to get hurt. You know, how hurt was he really? You know, for all we fucking know, Max played it off and walked around with a fucking arm in his sling and a crutch, and fucking everywhere he went, everybody thought he was the most broken down piece of fucking meat that you would ever see in the industry. You know, he probably went out with his girlfriend fucking arm in a sling, eating with his left hand. You know, that's the type of fucking character that Max is. He's a character on the screen, and that's what he does, I'm assuming, outside the ring. So was he really as injured as everybody reported? Who knows? That's the great thing about MJF. You don't fucking know what he's doing. He doesn't say a fucking word. He keeps everything to himself. That's the beauty of what he does. So what he does from here on out, is he back? I hope so. Are they rushing him back? We don't know. Is he going to be at Forbidden Door on Long Island? I would assume so. You're going to have a pay-per-view on Long Island and not have MJF on it. It's pretty shitty. You know, listen, it's happening. He's back. We're assuming he's back. He'll be on Wednesday. He'll have a match at Forbidden Door, and we're off to the running because the show desperately needed something to happen. I don't give a shit what it was. MJF is it, and he's back.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
We got news on MJF. We'll get into what happened and how everything came about, why he was back last night, when it was planned, all that stuff. We will talk about the Anarchy in the Arena match, which was the most over-the-top, outlandish, video game-ish, cartoonish thing you could possibly ever ask for, but it was such a fucking chaotic mess that I enjoyed every bit of it. I thought it was the best Anarchy in the Arena match that they've ever done. And Adam Copeland, he took a bump off the top of the barbed wire steel cage. Some people are thinking that he might have broken his ankle with the spot that he did off the top of the cage, through Malakai Black, through a table. At 15 years old, he's fucking ridiculous, but I love him. He's still the TNT champion. We will go over that. Mercedes wrestled for the first time in over a year. And we will dissect what she did in the ring, which I thought she looked great, as did Willow. And then the heel turn that happened at the end of the show. And Will Ospreay is the new international champion. He beat Roderick Strong last night. And I thought that was a great match. He had a near-death experience as well last night, which we will get into. All in all, I thought Double or Nothing was a very, very good show. And I don't want to sit here and blow smoke up your ass and say, oh, it was the greatest pay-per-view of the entire year. No, Revolution blew this shit out of the water. This was a very good show. A lot of newsworthy moments. A lot of memorable moments. But AEW still has problems. I don't want people to mask their problems because we got a great pay-per-view. You should already know in 5 years that Tony Khan delivers on pay-per-view every single time. You can't go back to that well every single time and then ignore the problems. There were problems on this show, and there are still problems with the product. How they handle it coming out of this show is going to be very interesting to see, and I guess we'll find out on Wednesday. But, Jesse, before we get into the reviews, is there anything else you want to add before I do my usual shtick and then get into the post-show?
Oh man, I'm ready to get into it, man. There was a lot happening here last night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you guys very much for joining me here on this Monday afternoon. Please follow us on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We got 2,900 people in here on Monday afternoon. I think that probably is more than what we would have had last night. So thank you guys very much for joining us here on this Monday afternoon. Hit that thumbs up. I would love if you guys can get us as close to 1,000 as possible. Super chats are open. I got to shout out my guy, David Thiering, as well, with a $100 super chat. He says, what's up, JD and Jesse? My thoughts on the pay-per-view are that this show absolutely had its share of spots, moments, returns, worth popping for. But at what point does a show being so long bring the quality of it as a whole down? Would love to hear your thoughts. OTS for life. David, we will definitely get into that topic as it's been a hot button topic coming out of last night. But thank you so much for your generosity in the $100 super chat. Go follow Jesse on Twitter at ChyTownSmark. Go follow his YouTube page as well. I linked his channel down in the description below. All you got to do is click on his name, and it'll take you right to his channel if you guys want content from him. He's covering WWE content the next day after it goes live, so make sure you guys go check him out over there. And we got something, I guess you and I will talk about it later, but Jesse and I have something planned possibly this week, correct?
It works.
It's in the works. Something very big with a prominent wrestling creator in the community. He's more than a wrestling content creator. He does a little bit of everything. But
very big.
This is a name that you guys have wanted me to work with for a very long time, and Jesse is making it happen, and it's going to be happening on Jesse's channel. And when that happens, it will be announced on the stream.
Stay tuned.
So stay tuned. Make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel. There's plenty of it. And make sure you guys get those super chats in. We will hang out at the end of the show. As always, any questions, comments, and concerns, we will hang out with our cold beverages, because I got one on tap at the end of the stream. So thank you guys very much. Jesse, before we get into the post-show, the pre-show did happen, and one big news article dropped. Very newsworthy segment happened on the pre-show. Tony Khan ushered out Martha Hart, and we will be getting the Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament happening again this year. Great. I love a good tournament. The one thing that you and I have talked about is no matter how good the tournament is, what does the winner actually get? They stand there with a belt and a trophy. Great. Does anything happen with these winners as per Willow winning it last year and Ricky Starks winning it last year? What happened to those winners? What did they get? Where did they go? Now, obviously, Willow is better off than Ricky Starks nowadays. So I guess you can maybe attest to Willow getting pushed a little bit further up the card. Ricky Starks is the opposite. He's basically out the door, and he's probably already in Stamford, Connecticut, waiting at an Airbnb, waiting for the contract to come into the mail. But the winners of these tournaments didn't get anything.
He's stuck in Titan Towers with Punk.
Yes. I'm sure that's exactly where he wants to be. The winners of these tournaments got nothing. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't factor into any storylines after the tournament's over. Now this year, that's changing. The winners of these tournaments will now get a World Championship match. So this is against Swerve Strickland and Tony Storm as of right now. An AEW World Championship match and an AEW Women's World Championship match. The winners of these respective tournaments will get championship matches at All In. That is an absolutely game-changing move. That is what needed to be done from the get-go. I'm glad that they made the change now. And yes, I see a lot of people saying, oh, well, they just took Triple H's idea of King of the Ring and SummerSlam. So what? So what? Why are we shitting on a right decision that should have been the decision from day one? I don't give a shit if they borrowed an idea. It's the right idea. Jesse, this is absolutely fantastic. And coming out of this tournament, we'll already have 2 matches for the end of August at All In. Great move.
This is great. This lends credibility to the tournament.
Yep.
You know, and this should be done universally, anywhere, all around. There needs to be an end game to any tournament. You know, rather than just, you get this. Okay, what does that mean? It exists. It's that. I'm like, no, what does this mean? You crowning me this, that should mean something. You know, Britt Baker and Adam Cole got nice pink titles that are somewhere sitting on their mantles. You know, cozies up together. I mean, what was the point? You know, this Owen Hart tournament winner is going to be extremely fucking important, because it pretty much tells you what direction the company is going to be going down the road, much like a Money in the Bank winner. You know, who are we pegging to be the next, guy in line to get a chance? You know, it's something to strive for. Otherwise, people out there saying, I want to win this Owen Hart tournament. I would ask, well, why? Well, for what reason?
I love Owen Hart.
Yeah, I love Owen Hart, and I want to, we all love Owen, bro. Why? You know, because I want to be AEW champion. Okay, there you go. Nice, let's do it. Perfect.
You know what this also does? It makes the 4 weeks of tournament on Dynamite, everything about those Dynamites has now been raised. The level of importance for those Dynamites has now been raised. So every single show...
Matches mean something.
Every single match is going to mean something, because there's something absolutely invaluable on the line now. You're going to Wembley Stadium to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. Great. And if I don't know who's listening to this. If someone of power or prominence in this fucking company is listening to me, I swear to God, please, TK, you get a hold of this. You need to not book this tournament like you did every other Eliminator tournament or tournament of the past. Every single block of this tournament, every single competitor in this tournament needs to be of a world championship caliber performer. I don't want to see fucking Anthony Bowens in this tournament. I don't want to see fucking no-name wrestler in this tournament. I need to see top-tier guys in this tournament, and I need you to put away your feelings, book the best matches possible without fear of giving somebody a fucking loss. Yes, because the championship is on the line now.
I was just getting ready to say that. Any and everyone that you have out there that you're protecting their win-loss record, that shit needs to be compromised in this tournament, all right? I mean, everyone
I don't want to see Brian
to
Keith in the tournament. I don't want to see Hook or Shibata in the tournament. You have the best roster maybe ever. Yes. You need to put 8 fucking people in there that speak to you as world champion. Done.
Yes. I know you want to protect Okada. Don't hide Okada from this fucking tournament. He needs to be in there, and he shouldn't be winning. He should be in the tournament. He should make it look good, take a couple of W's maybe, but he needs to take a solid L. There needs to be people who don't normally lose in there to lend more credibility to this tournament to give to the winner of it. I don't want to see the winner of this tournament going down winning with the lights of, I beat the bounty hunter, I beat the half of a few tag teams, no. People with absolute winning records who you would normally protect are okay to take those L's in this tournament.
Yeah. And you know who should be in the fucking tournament? MJF should be in the fucking tournament. That's who needs to be in the goddamn tournament. Okada needs to be in the tournament. Jack Perry shouldn't be in the fucking tournament. He shouldn't. I'm sorry. Stop booking these tournaments like bullshit. You got everybody that you want. Will Ospreay should be in the tournament. MJF should be in the tournament. Okada should be in the tournament. Those are the types of guys that need to be in the tournament. Done. I don't want to see tag team guys in the tournament. I don't want to see fucking Austin Gunn in the fucking tournament. Jay White needs to be in the tournament.
Jay White? I would
needs to be in the tournament.
I would put Jack Perry in the fucking tournament.
You would?
He's not a tag team wrestler. He was in the fucking main event of last night's pay-per-view.
If you're going to choose one or the other, bro, you're going to take Jack Perry or Okada.
Am I going to take Jack Perry or Jack Cartwheel? How about that?
Jack Cartwheel should not be in the fucking tournament.
All right, so how about we put Jack Perry and Okada both? There's a big fucking tournament. There's room for both of them.
How many guys you think are going to be in this tournament? 8, I'm assuming, not 16. If there's 16, sure, both of them can be in, but 8?
Look, this guy was in the main event of last night's show. He's not a nobody. Jack Cartwheel shouldn't be in the fucking tournament.
If Adam Cole is ready, he should be in the fucking tournament.
Adam Cole, I don't want to see one of the Young Bucks in a tournament. That's what I don't want to see.
No.
All right. I want to see singles wrestlers who are at the top of the
Jarrett
card.
shouldn't be in the fucking tournament.
No, not Satnam Singh.
Jay Lethal shouldn't be in the tournament. Mark Briscoe shouldn't be in the fucking tournament.
No.
You guys get my point.
No, exactly. I want bigger names who are involved in story, and them taking a loss would matter to them somewhere in a storyline. That's all we want. We want this tournament to tell stories. We want it to be full of people with credibility that could possibly go ahead and win the tournament. That's all we want.
No, Nick Wayne should not be in the tournament. I'm sorry. Stop.
Nick Wayne is really good, but
Nick Wayne is good, but he's not all in main event worthy. Come on now.
No, I wouldn't put him in the Christian Cage. Definitely in the tournament. Absolutely.
If Christian Cage wants to be in the tournament, who's going to say no?
Absolutely.
Come on now.
Yes.
Moving on with the actual show now. We start things off. I'm going to breeze through these pre-show matches because I did watch the pre-show. I'm not going to break these things down. Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. Purrazzo beats Thunder Rosa in about 10 minutes. Again, could be something that they built as far as storyline to take place on a Dynamite, but here it is on the pre-show. We got the Acclaimed, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens and Billy Gunn against Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. And that is the pre-show. So,
I want to touch on something with that match that I feel I'm qualified to break down and shit on. Max Caster's entrance raps have been absolute ass as of lately.
Yes, they have.
I don't know what's fucking going on. I don't know. Has he run out of material? I don't know. The cadence hasn't been there. The jabs hasn't really been there. They're not. They don't pop like they used to. What the hell is going on with his fucking freestyles these days, man?
I don't know. It sounds like he is definitely off tune with the beat. I don't know. I'm not a rapper. I don't expertise in rapping. I don't listen to rap music, but it sounds like sometimes he comes in late. Sounds sometimes he comes in early. You said to me, Jesse, it might not even be that. It might be the fact that he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
That's what it feels like. It feels like he just doesn't give a shit. When he was out there dropping them bars, doing them lines we were praising him. Fantastic. Great job. Another good one. When it wasn't great, it was like, everyone was fine. It was all right. These have just been straight dog shit. I don't know what is going on. I mean, again, I criticize from a fan's point of view. I've always loved his raps coming in. And this wasn't like this was a one and done. Oh, he had a bad one. Go shit on it. Dude, for the last couple of months, they have just been fucking bad. I don't know what's going on with Max, but it's just not the same Max when it comes to his entrances anymore.
No, it might be the mustache. The mustache is a little silly, but, maybe it's part of a story. Maybe it's part of a heel turn. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Double or Nothing started off with the International Championship. Great way to open the show because there's nothing like a Will Ospreay match. Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong for the AEW International Championship. Jesse and I are not going to bullshit ya. I've done this for many, many, many years. I don't bullshit you. There's no story coming into this. We all knew. I mean, you got to be half of a fucking idiot to not realize that this was going to be a great match. But there's no story here. This match was basically built on a whim just to get Ospreay on the fucking show and get him in a championship match at this early stage of his AEW run. And then they promptly kept these guys off TV for 3 weeks with a fucking first time face-to-face 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It
Collision.
It felt like it felt like there was like a lame attempt to try to push a story out of it.
Yeah.
But no, there was no story there. Now, the match.
The match had story because of what happened at the end of the match, and we'll get there.
And the match was fucking fantastic. You give me Roderick Strong and Will Ospreay in the ring, and nothing bad will happen.
No.
It will be fucking fantastic, bro.
No. Yeah, Ospreay needs to be, I've said this one too many times, Ospreay needs to be to AEW what Cody Rhodes is to WWE. He's just got that, and everybody loves him. So we'll pick it up. Because Jesse and I seemingly texted each other at the same time when it happened. There was a spot in this match. Ospreay's on the outside. Strong tried to slam Ospreay on the unprotected barricade. Ospreay flipped over it onto the Kingdom, took them out. Brawling with Strong, slingshotted him into the ring post. Match officially begins at this point. Ospreay was in control. Strong took the referee, who was Bryce Remsburg in this match. He's on the opposite end of the ring. Bryce's back is turned to what's going on the opposite side of the ring. So the Kingdom is on the outside, and they get Will Ospreay in a doomsday device position. So this allowed Bennett and Taven, I don't know who flew. I don't know if it might have been Matt Taven, I believe. Bro, this guy got in the fucking ring. First of all, before we even get to the fucking most egregious part of this thing, Bryce Remsburg is on the opposite side with Roderick Strong. So Matt Taven gets into the ring, and he's bumping on the ropes. He's bouncing off the ropes. Bryce Remsburg, at no point, Jesse, looks up to see who the fuck is bouncing in the ring. Is it Ospreay? At no point did he look up and say, what is going on in my match here? He's just focused on Roddy. Like, why do we continue to make AEW referees look like blithering idiots? I don't understand it. So that was my first wrongdoing here. I don't know if you had a problem with that.
No, there was quite a few ref spots last night that just had me just shaking my head. Like, we get it. So look, when I complain about the ignorance of and the obliviousness of a referee, it comes from a point of I know referees are inherently, not supposed to be, very focused and attentive, but my God, that being said, that doesn't mean be as bad as you are. There was one of the spots, and tonight, I'm trying to remember what match it was. It was so out there. I think it was the Jericho match where someone threw chairs in the ring, or something like that. Maybe it wasn't the Jericho match. But then the ref took the chairs and threw the chair to the outside. But then while shenanigans were happening in the ring, the ref was busy looking at the chair that he just threw to the outside of the ring and not focusing on the shit that was happening with the guys in the ring. I watched, he threw it out of the ring to get rid of it. Okay, fine. Now he's looking at it like, how'd that chair get in here? And behind him, boom, 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 crowd. Oh, boom. And he's like, that chair amazes me. Oh, there's a pinfall. You know,
I don't know, man. It's like the AEW referees are characters in this whole thing. Like, why can't they just be, you know, professionals and referees who are knowledgeable of their surroundings and aware of what's going on? It's like,
yeah, thanks, Chet. It was the Mox Takeshita match.
Oh, yeah.
He got rid of the chair. What the ref's supposed to do, and instead of getting rid of it and getting back to work, he's just admiring his work. I threw that chair out there pretty damn nicely. You have to protect the integrity of the referees a little bit more. You just have to do it. I'm gonna take it back to King and Queen of the Ring when the spot where Orton's shoulders weren't down. I saw something that addressed that. Was that a botch or was that planned? I saw something on it.
What spot you talking about?
The ending of Gunther and Randy Orton, where his shoulders were not down.
Well, we don't really know. We don't know if it was planned or not. I said that they are way too good at what they do to fucking make an obvious botch like that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you if it is planned, but Triple H did address it, and they are getting a rematch.
Okay, so maybe the rematch is coming because of the botch, or maybe it was just a legit botch. But in that instance, all the referee had to do was not count.
Yes.
And let them guys know, hey, no, his shoulders aren't down, bro.
But the edict in WWE is, you know, it's always been like that with Vince McMahon. If something's going on, you call it like a shoot.
Yeah, just, hey, reposition it. Do the spot over. Do something so that we don't look like fucking assholes and me counting one shoulder down. Help me out here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That's obviously going to be addressed, and a rematch is coming. But the AEW referees are on another planet. They are fucking brain dead as fuck.
My God.
And that shit ball. I'm like, come on, man. You don't fucking feel the guy bouncing on top of you off the ropes. Seriously. Yes. So that wasn't even the worst part of it. I mean, that's just a common fucking issue every week. The issue came with the Doomsday device, Jesse. Taven tried to go over the rope with a fucking dive. He clipped the rope. He did not get as much air as he wanted. And Ospreay, in the whole grand scheme of this move, was dropped on his fucking head. On the concrete so badly, Don Callis, who was on commentary, dropped his headset and went right over to fucking Will Ospreay.
I was like, Jesus Christ, is he okay? My God. And that wasn't the only scary spot last night. There was
a lot of suplexes on people's necks. Why?
Bro.
Holy shit.
Look, I want to preface this. I appreciate what these men and women do for our entertainment. I do. But to look at 50-year-old Adam Copeland at the top of a steel cage coming down to someone on the table, I'm not going to lie, I was terrified for his safety.
Me too. And that's okay to feel that way because, I mean, we'll get to that. It almost looked like he abandoned ship halfway through the jump and said, fuck this shit, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, bro, come on. We love these guys. I mean, we appreciate what they do. We don't want to see them get hurt trying to entertain. It's not that important to us. Not spots like that. I've come accustomed to getting that from Darby. That's just fucking Darby. And I've become a way more accustomed to it. But I'm more concerned with a guy that we had to watch his career get taken away from him and then miraculously come back to us and then watch him at the top of a cage. I'm like, bro, please, not him. Let someone else pull that stunt. He does not need to. He's earned his stripes. He's earned his credibility. He does not need to pull stunts like that to entertain us anymore. Please.
Yeah, especially on somebody that you invested so much money in, who's going to be the face of this company sooner rather than later. to have a move done like that. Why? Why is that in the match? Why can't we omit shit like that? Why is that being done to someone like that who you are banking everything on? Come on now.
Yeah.
It's just stupid looking back at it. So all of the Undisputed Kingdom eventually, Wardlow's out there, Taven Bennett, they got kicked out of the ringside. This was a one-on-one match. And we'll pick it up towards the end here because I'm not going to go over move for move every one of these matches. We'll be here longer than the fucking show. So they all got kicked out. Ospreay wanted a hidden blade. Strong rolled through into a Texas cloverleaf. This was a great match. Crowd was hot. This was the most perfect match you could start off with that could have been on this show. So we had some knife-edge chops. They were loud. And we got Strong following the chops up with a superplex. Strong held on into a torture rack backbreaker for a 2 count. Strong hit the fireman's carry gutbuster. He went for his sick kick. Ospreay countered into a power bomb for a double down of both guys. So they get back up. They start throwing some big bombs. It led to a crazy sequence where Ospreay fired off an Oscutter, couldn't follow up, and for some odd reason, Bryce Remsburg again wanted to check on Strong and backed Ospreay off. So he got an Oscutter done to him. No. Let's stop the match. I'm like, what the fuck's going on now? So I didn't really understand what was going on here. But we then see Don Callis get up from commentary again and demand that Will Ospreay use the Tiger Driver 91, telling him to snap Roddy's neck. Go for the neck and end him. Ospreay shoved Bryce out of the way. He set up for the Tiger Driver 91. He was about to do it. He had this anger in his face, and he couldn't do it. Ospreay shoved Bryce. He was going to hit the move. He hesitated. This allows Strong to counter and hit a gutbuster, another sick kick, goes for recovery, gets a 2 count. Callis says you can't be weak in these moments. Ospreay countered the end of Heartache into a Hurricane Rana pin. He gets a 2 count. Strong popped up with a big knee lift. Strong went again for end of Heartache. Ospreay landed on his feet. Hidden blade, Stormbreaker, and that was enough for Will Ospreay to get the 1, 2, 3, and he wins the International Championship. So they are still telling the story of Will Ospreay not wanting to use the Tiger Driver 91. I don't know where it's going to come into play, if he's going to use it, if he's not going to use it. I mean, all of this, honestly, Jesse, went out the window when Bryan Danielson came back and basically 2 weeks later after taking the move after convulsing at Dynasty to join Anarchy in the Arena. I mean, that storyline to me is dead. So I don't know why we're continuing to sell him not wanting to use the move. That would have made total sense if we were going to get another rematch between Danielson and Ospreay. But here they are telling this story. He didn't use it, and he won the match with the Stormbreaker. He's the new international champion.
Yep, it's the outcome we all expected. The match was as good as, we all expected. Again, some of those spots, man, it's just so cringe sometimes. But I hate when the referee spots take away from the action.
Yeah.
That is the part that sucks, man. I would like someone to just take charge of what the referees are doing, the movement of them, and whoever's calling it in gorilla, get them in better spots. I don't know, but inherently a referee looking just oblivious is common. That being said, it shouldn't just be blatant. I mean, come on, man.
No. Yeah, this was a very predictable outcome, and I don't want to skip ahead here, but looking at who your champions are now in AEW, Will Ospreay, major signing this year, international champion. Kazuchika Okada, major signing, he is the continental champion. Mercedes Moné, major signing, she is your AEW TBS women's champion. So, and Swerve, by the way, who, was throwing around the word dynasty, he is the world champion. So you basically have AEW's dynasty right there in all 4 of those champions being depicted as the top talents in the company. This was done by design. This is Tony Khan basically ushering in the new era. These 4 individuals as your champions in this company is your new era of AEW.
There you go. Let's get it, man.
This was a great match, very predictable. Don't know what Ospreay is going to do with the International Championship. I don't want to see the International Championship defended. I've said this all the time, It's a glorified TV championship at this point, but it's worth so much more now that it's on Will Ospreay. Can we get some legitimate story with it, honestly? Is Ospreay going to take it overseas? Are we going to see it in New Japan? Are we going to see it in Europe? Is it going to be an instance where Will Ospreay maybe takes it down to Uganda and does that little promotion that's going on down there and maybe get some spotlight on those kids that are doing that down there? I don't know. Obviously, him being the international champion, Jesse, with him being an international star, makes a whole lot of sense for the company.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was ever really clarified what the goal and the purpose was of that championship. Like, was that supposed to be the goal? I mean, I don't know what they plan on doing with it, but as long as they make it important and make it a big deal, and oh my God, look, if you really need a babyface champion out there doing open challenges and shit like that, if you have to have it, fine. Let it be for Ospreay and that title, and not your world title and your babyface champion there. I mean, if you're just hell-bent on doing open challenges, fine. Contain it to that title at least. But I just want to see them do something interesting and have the title be made a big deal.
Yeah, I would like to see that too. So we'll see what happens with Will Ospreay and the International Championship. But the right guy won, and Tony Khan's got his man as Will Ospreay is carrying championship gold. This should not deter him from being in the Owen tournament either. Because someone asked him, now that you got the International Championship, does that mean you're going to focus on this, or are you going to focus also on the World Championship with the Owen Hart coming up? He should be in the tournament. Absolutely. He's undefeated this year. He should absolutely be in the tournament. So no questions asked there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Moving on. Adam Cole came out. Now, the Undisputed Kingdom, we didn't get any storyline as far as Wardlow is concerned, because Wardlow's goal and Wardlow's task here was to keep the championship on all other Undisputed Kingdom members. Clearly, that did not happen tonight. We didn't get any inkling of a story between Adam Cole and Wardlow, but Adam Cole comes out after the Undisputed Kingdom goes to the back to attend to Roderick Strong, and he cuts a promo. He's walking, looks good. I'm happy to see Cole back on television. He's another major proponent of what they've been missing for quite a while, since September, almost a year out of action. So he's in the ring, and he said he shouldn't even be in Las Vegas because he should be home rehabbing his ankle. He says he's been through hell these past few months, and he still gets disrespected. He says he's one of the best pro wrestlers of his generation. Fact. The lights went dark, and a video appeared on the screen. He didn't say why he was there. He didn't give a reason for this promo happening. He didn't even really say anything all that important. This was basically to usher in MJF, who we saw walk into a room, and there was a mannequin with his old attire, the suit, the scarf, and a hand appeared on screen with a photo of MJF and Adam Cole ripped in half. We got one half being Adam Cole, and then connected the picture, the torn picture, with MJF's other half. MJF's music then played. Fans chanted for MJF. They knew what was happening here. So he comes out. He's wearing the 2002 Triple H return jacket. Everybody immediately noticed the callback. He then gets into the ring. Adam Cole has got this "I don't believe you're back" look on his face. So then MJF gets in the ring and Cole backs off. He then goes for a hug. People were like, well, why is MJF hugging Adam Cole after everything that he did? Clearly, he was trying to sucker Adam Cole in to basically embarrass him with a low blow, and that's exactly what happened. So then he gives him a low blow. He gives him a brain buster suplex, and then kicks him out of the ring. Goodbye. So we'll stop there. Adam Cole, how clear is he? Is he on his way to being cleared? We don't know. He did take a fucking brain buster. He's taking bumps. So he may be back sooner rather than later. He may be on the cusp of coming back. MJF, you know, it was documented that he had the shoulder injury, he had the hip injury. How overblown were those stories? Did he go get surgery? That was reported a while back. How much of it was just MJF disguising all the reports and kind of playing everybody? Nobody knows, but being that he's back, Jesse, here, and he's delivering bumps to Adam Cole, both of them are taking bumps. I think both of them, especially more in the case of MJF, he's going to be back on television imminently. Adam Cole should be back sooner rather than later. It's great to have both of these guys back on television doing what they do best, because it was a huge absence for both of these guys to be off TV.
Adam Cole has been off TV for months during a time where we needed an Adam Cole.
Yep.
and you still won't get off this, it was a little bit of a work kick, just admit you were wrong. It's not a work.
What are you talking about?
Injured.
What are you talking about?
Cole, he's injured.
Yes, I thought early on I thought it was a work. Yes.
Yes, yeah. Now you're like, well, we don't know how injured he really was. Like, he was injured. He was injured. He was out.
Yes,
He was
I know.
not injured, he wouldn't have been out. So I don't know if he's cleared or not, bro, because if you pay attention, the bump that he took last night had nothing to do with his ankle. Nothing. It was a
Bro,
brain
nobody
buster.
should be taking any bumps if you're injured on any part of your body.
All right, well, Dr. JD, he took a bump.
Okay.
And I don't know if he's going to be back or not. They may have done this spot just to have him out a little bit longer. I don't know. I mean, unless there was a report that I missed, I don't know if he's cleared to come back or not. But he came back for that spot. He didn't take a bump on his ankle. So maybe he's fine, or maybe they plan on leaving him out a little bit longer and bumping him down the card a little bit more, down the road a little bit more with that spot with MJF. Who knows? This segment was fine to me. I mean, I think bringing Cole back for this spot helped with the issue of, well, when Cole comes back now that MJF is back, is MJF going straight back to Cole? Like, no, it feels like they've dead at that. It feels like that's done. He got his revenge on Cole, and then he basically said, I don't give a shit about that anymore. I moved on, you know? And for those of you who are saying, well, the MJF said it'd be this bidding war of 2024, dead at that. I re-signed. I got a goddamn tat on my leg about it. I'm here for different shit now, and it's going to be a different MJF moving forward. I'm putting the company on my back again, and we're going to get some shit done. So that's what I took from it. Again, I've seen no reports on who's well, who's cleared, who's not cleared, and no shit like that. But after watching that segment again this morning, that's what I took from it, and that's what it felt like to me.
Well, MJF, again, we don't know when Adam Cole's going to be back. Yes, he was injured. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I thought it was a work early on, but the more he was out, obviously he was hurt, because there's no reason why he wouldn't be on TV. Now, I'm definitely happy that they tried to incorporate him into TV while he was hurt, just like WWE's doing with CM Punk. That's what they should have been doing with MJF. But, you know, here we are. And if he is ready to go and MJF is ready to go, they should both be in the tournament. And they should both meet in the tournament, because that would be a nice cap on everything that MJF said here. So MJF, obviously, he's looking a little bit more less, pompous with the scarf, and he's got the jacket on. He called Cole a noodle-armed, bobble-headed son of a bitch. He bent down and asked if he hurt him, somebody get this shit stain out of my ring. He said he gave Cole his trust, something he hasn't done much of in the past. They showed Cole being held back by the referees. MJF said Cole helped wake him up to who he is. He says he's the greatest wrestler on God's green earth. He says he is MJF. He's better, and everyone knows it. So he's getting red in the face. He's obviously very animated. He says he doesn't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon to make MJF, because MJF made MJF. Now, a lot of people are like, well, he didn't mention Triple H, because MJF is not going to mention Triple H. Why would he? Because that's exactly where he's going to end up before his career is over. So he's not going to shit on the man in charge. It's easy to shit on the guy who was in charge that everybody else is shitting on. Love it.
People read too far into shit. They just love...
Well, why didn't he mention Triple H?
I was waiting for the people online last night after Max came back I was waiting for the WWE shills to see that and then start looking for ways to shit on that. Well, that doesn't mean anything. Well, he sucks. He's just a this. WWE doesn't need him. I'm like, you just see wrestling fans enjoying themselves, and you can't stand it, can you? If you're one of those people who tweeted or thought something like that, I'm talking about you. You just couldn't stand it. MJF coming back made a lot of people happy, and that really pissed you off.
Ridiculous. Social media is absolutely AIDS. So he said, no more ha-ha, no more friendships, no more kangaroo kicks, no more bullshit. He says he's going to be driven by hate. Man, I love hate, man. I love being driven by hate, not love. So fans then started chanting hate. He said when he's driven by hate, nobody is safe. He picked up the devil mask in the ring. He said masks are adorned by cowards who want to hide. He says he's done apologizing for the fact that he's the best. No one is more complete in the sport than me. He said people's comparisons of him to others suck a big bag of donkey dicks. He says he doesn't need a mask to show no one is on the level of the devil. He said the mask symbolizes the end of 2023 and it makes his stomach turn. He says it can go straight to hell. He threw the mask in the crowd, so nice souvenir for somebody. He yanked off his jean jacket, did a Ric Flair strut, and then dropped an elbow on said mask. Like I said, he threw it into the crowd. Fans chanted, welcome back. MJF says he's been betting on himself since day one. So regarding his contract status, he showed off a calf tattoo that said AEW, and it had a poker chip on it and says, bet on yourself. It says, when it comes to AEW, you can call me the wolf of AEW because I'm not fucking leaving. He then stood up on the ropes, did his MJF pose, and he is with AEW. So I love what I took away from this, Jesse, is MJF kind of hiding everything behind some truth to the matter. He basically acted very aware of fans' criticisms to what he did as he was that blue-collar babyface, that trusting babyface. He acted very aware in this promo that, you know, it was great for a little bit. It worked, and then it didn't work, and fans started to grow weary and tired of it. And he basically deaded that and buried it. He retired the scarf. He's got an edgy new look to him, which is a change in its own right because, I mean, the scarf is synonymous with MJF. He's not doing the scarf anymore. He made it clear that he signed to AEW. That storyline is dead. The Devil storyline is finished. He took care of Adam Cole. His primary focus now is the AEW World Championship because he was robbed of a championship that he felt he shouldn't have been robbed of. So he basically killed off a lot of what was wrong here, and he's moving forward in 2024 with a clear vision. That's what this promo was all about.
I'm excited, man. I'm here for it.
Yep.
There's just been a complete lull in everything AEW as of late. And I feel like some minor tweaks and some minor additions and some minor changes along with a big return like this can set things down the right path. And I'm optimistic for it, you know, and that doesn't make me a shill or anything like that. That just means instead of being flat out negative about everything, I see some positivity down the road, and I want to see this shit play out because this actually looks interesting. Coming into this show, I'm not going to lie, nothing really was grabbing me like, oh, I have to see this for this reason. It was more like, okay, I have to watch this show to cover it tonight. You know, now I'm looking forward to some of these shows. I want to see what's going to happen with my girl Thicklander. I want to see what's going on with MJF. I want to see what's going on with everything is looking a lot more interesting now, and I'm here for it, man.
Yeah. This is a huge. This may be the biggest thing that happened to AEW all year. You could sit there and tell me, oh, Ospreay, oh, Mercedes, oh, Okada. No, this is it. This is it. They don't got shit on MJF. They have not made a lick of a difference in the ratings. You know who is? MJF. You know why? Because he's homegrown. You want to know why? Because he's been there from the very beginning. You know, a lot of these guys, I love Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is fucking absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing like a Will Ospreay match. Love Mercedes. I think Okada is doing some great work as a fucking prick heel in the Elite. But you want to know what? None of them are making a lick of a difference in the ratings. And I do think, Jesse, at some point, some fans do feel that Tony Khan has basically abandoned what made AEW special by bringing in all these big names, ex-WWE guys, New Japan names, and he's moving away from the original vision of AEW. You know who the original vision of AEW is? MJF. That's who this fan base, you know, kind of adores. That's who this fan base, you know, looks at and says, this is my AEW. They don't get that feeling with those other guys.
That's their guy. That is their guy. They can stop looking. He's been right here the whole time in your face.
What was in my face was a trio championship match that I was very much looking forward to because I'm a big Jay White guy. I'm a big Pac guy. I think the Bang Bang Gang, they're a great fucking group. No matter what you think of the name. I like Bullet Club Gold better, but Bang Bang Gang doesn't bother me too much. We got Death Triangle back together against the Bang Bang Gang for the Trios Championships. Not to say, Jesse, this was a bad match, because I can't physically sit here and tell you anything Jay White is a part of is a bad match, or Pac, or Penta, or Phoenix. But, man, I felt like something was seriously lacking here, man. I don't know if you felt the same way. I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe it's a lack of story. Maybe it's the fact that the Trios Championships don't really hold any value. I don't know if you felt the same way, but what'd you think of this match? Because I felt no emotional attachment to this whatsoever, and this was one of the matches that I would have absolutely saved for a Dynamite and not include on their show.
I don't know. Honestly, for me, I just enjoyed the match. All guys involved in it were, are legends in the ring and shit like that. So I wasn't really looking for a story because I didn't really feel a story coming into it. But in the moment, in the heat of the moment, in the pay-per-view, last night as I'm watching fucking these matches, this is a match I definitely want to see.
Yeah.
I was into it. There was only, not until that one match that came up, and we'll get to it when I text you about, not until that match was I like, okay, this is definitely a bathroom. I'm going to go make myself some dinner right now.
Yeah.
Other than that, the match was great. There was stakes. There was something on the line. And I loved everybody involved in it. This match didn't offend me at all. Could it have been a bigger deal? Yeah, sure. But it wasn't. It was for titles, and I enjoyed it. And at the end of the match, we got a fantastic return. So I enjoyed it. Seeing Juice pop back up on my screen, that was a moment. I was enjoying it.
Let me get this straight. You, by the end of this match, Jesse, were rock hard. Correct?
Yes. Rock hard, bruh.
There you go. Juice Robinson's back. We'll get there. I gotta shout out Pac. Pac may be the best seller in all of the business. This guy takes a DDT like fucking Rob Van Dam back did in ECW, man. He is so fucking good at selling, man. It's almost as if you think when he takes a move, he's fucking dead. And then he pops right back up and he's jumping off the fucking ropes like nothing.
So good.
He took a fucking... Well, actually, Pac, he blindsided Jay White. He was going for a Blade Runner. And then instead, he hit a DDT on Pac that spiked Pac violently. Ridiculous. So Pac remained isolated, and they were beating him up. He was in the wrong part of town. Penta made the hot tag. Lucha Brothers ran wild together. Phoenix, glad to see him back healthy. He's been on the shelf on and off way too many times, more than I care to remember. He walked the top rope kick. Splash off his brother's shoulders onto Austin Gunn. Taz says Spike Dudley was synonymous for that move. So nice call back to ECW there. White tagged in. He immediately ate a bounce back Phoenix kick. Spinning fireman carry jackhammer by Penta for 2. Pac then tags back in. He dropped Jay White with a German. And then we all get this match broken down. All 6 guys are in there. Pac... he delivered a thrust kick to Jay White, and then Jay White, obviously, in the landing zone. Black Arrow, he avoided that from Pac. Colton and Austin were dropped with German suplexes. And we got some big-time offense from Death Triangle here, who spiked one of the Guns with Fear Factor. Or not, actually, no, I'm sorry. He spiked Jay White with Fear Factor, and then Phoenix took out both Guns with a big dive. So before the dive, the Guns threw the baseball bat in, which took Rick Knox's attention. Another fucking stupid referee move. Pac went up top for the Black Arrow again, only to be crotched on the top turnbuckle by a returning Juice Robinson, where Jay White was then up. He connected on the Blade Runner, and he got the 1, 2, 3. The Bang Bang Gang retains the AEW Trios Championship. But the big story here is that they are now complete. Again, the Bang Bang Gang is at full strength. Juice Robinson is back. And no matter what you think, Jesse, Jay White and the Guns are great, but Juice just takes the gimmick and the group to the next level. There was an obvious missing piece to the group, and now he's back. And, the Guns are a very good tag team in their own right. I think the Guns are great. I'm a big fan of what Austin and Colton do. I love their attitude. I love their sense of charisma. But, man, Jay White and Juice Robinson, remember those bangers that they were having in the early stages of the Punk era collisions? That's exactly what we need, man. Another solid tag team back. Jay White and Juice Robinson. I'm looking for the Guns and the Bang Bang Gang here to kind of be propelled higher up the card here, man. Tony Khan's got 4 winners here, and he should take advantage of that.
Yeah. Juice is definitely a missing element from that group. They're just okay. They're fine without him, but with him, I can't pinpoint it because it's not like Juice individually is like a phenomenal standout character or anything like that. But what Juice brings to that group, it just works and it just vibes. He is like that. He's like that wild card. He's like that mascot, that guy who's just fucking unhinged and fucking crazy. He reminds me a lot of Brian Pillman, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I love what he brings to the dynamic, and that alone, I'm happy to see Juice back. I think Juice being back makes Jay White better for what they're doing with the Bullet Club Gold right now. And also frees him up to just do singles things. Because now we have a trio right there with the Guns and Juice.
Yep.
So I'm enjoying it, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I'm glad that he's back. So in the first hour, we got MJF back. We got Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong delivering a banger, and Juice Robinson's back. And maybe Adam Cole, which we don't really know right now, depending on his status. So, a lot of upside here in the first hour of Double or Nothing. So we got a lot to look forward to going into the future of AEW this summer. So good on him being back. The ladies, Timeless Toni Storm out there with her group, Luther and Mariah May, defeated Serena Deeb to retain the AEW Women's World Championship. Now, Jesse, you and I have been very critical of some aspects of this feud. You and I are both big Deeb guys. Serena Deeb is fucking phenomenal at what she does. She is a great professional wrestler. She's obviously got some weaknesses in her game. It's clearly not in the ring, but she
is the absolute best bell-to-bell female wrestler in AEW.
Yes. There is nobody more technically sound than Serena Deeb. She's not a very good promo. And AEW kind of struggled with this one. And Jesse and I talked about this on Wednesday. The whole focus here was Toni Storm, the unbeatable champion, their girl, defending the championship against a returning Serena Deeb. And we all knew from the day that this match was alluded to that this was basically a fill-in, let's get Toni a top-tier wrestler to beat so she can move on to the next. Obviously, in comes Serena Deeb. There was no story from the get-go. And then Jesse, they tried to develop a story with Serena Deeb and the reason why she was out for 15 months, and they did a callback to the real reason why she was out. She was suffering seizures. I'm glad that she's all right. Jesse's glad that she's all right.
Yes.
They tried to get sympathy for Serena Deeb, and it actually ended up backfiring because Toni Storm is so incredibly over at what she's doing. She's probably one of the most complete characters in all of AEW. There's nobody that's doing character work right now like Toni, and it almost came off, like we discussed on Wednesday, like AEW didn't realize how over Toni Storm is here, that they put so much stock into making Serena Deeb the sympathetic babyface, but all they did was fucking flip the switch and make Serena Deeb the heel going into this match. So it's like, they gave us a reason to care. Nobody cared. And then they basically said, you know what? Just go in there and play a heel. Tony's too over. Nobody's going to really boo Toni Storm. And the match kind of, it suffered because of that, even though we all knew who was going to walk out the winner anyway.
Yeah. So you just explained how it started to unfold and then how it ended up being. This is one thing that I will, inject some constructive criticism here. And the fact of, you had an intention of pushing Serena Deeb as the comeback babyface into this, and for all intents and purposes, yeah, Toni Storm was the heel. But her character work completely just obliterated Serena Deeb in that build. And I think that alone got the fans to start, and with Deeb coming out and saying, oh, I suffered seizures and I had a moment where I didn't know if I could do this and I made a big comeback and everything else. And then Toni Storm comes out like, I didn't know this was a fucking charity match. I'm glad you came back from your seizures, but God, I'm the fucking champion. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she just big leagued her all the way through. So and what happened was they changed course mid-build and then have Deeb come out there to be a heartless heel, a couple of weeks after they just tried convincing us that she had this miraculous comeback story and we should get behind her. They did a pivot, which was fine. I think they took the wrong moment to pull said pivot. I would have pulled an organic double turn in the match. I think they should have stayed the course during the build, let Serena Deeb look like a complete, idiot for thinking that she was the babyface while people were booing Storm, and then in the match tell the story of how Deeb is fed up with trying to be good and it's not getting her anywhere, and do a double turn in the match, a la Stone Cold and Bret Hart. I think they would have worked better in that scenario.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the way AEW handled this build made the match suffer for at least, I would say, a good 90% of it. It was the last 5 minutes where fans obviously caught on to the work that they were doing, because the match ended up being great. I mean, the match work itself was great. The crowd did not care going into it. The crowd did not care while the match was happening for the majority of the match. The crowd actually started to come alive because they realized Tony's fucking great. Serena's great. This match is great. It's like, okay, let's give the ladies their flowers tonight. I thought that this was Toni Storm's best World Championship match, bell to bell, all year. Listen, a lot of you guys love the Thunder Rosa match. I thought the Thunder Rosa match was good. I thought this was better. I thought Serena Deeb here wrestled better than anybody else that Toni Storm's been in the ring with. And I do think that Deeb, Jesse, brought out that old school Toni Storm. She had to fucking wrestle tonight, man. No more character work in the ring. She couldn't really go in there and fucking do the whole timeless thing. She had to go in there and be fucking rocker Toni Storm and wrestle just as good as Deeb did. And that's what I loved about this match.
Yeah, it was great, man. And if this was the best that Toni Storm looked in the ring, I can't help but give a nod to Serena Deeb for that, because like we just said, she is the best absolute bell-to-bell female wrestler in the company. And I think she did a fantastic job at going out there and lending a lot more credibility to Toni Storm's championship reign, because beating someone like Serena Deeb is nothing to sneeze at, and they've made that clear that, she is the professor, she is the best worker that they have and everything like that. And if Toni Storm was still able to knock her off, then, that's a credit to Toni Storm. So all in all, I think Serena Deeb did her job. I don't think it was ever her time to be champion right now. That's not to say that can't change down the road, because I think heel Serena Deeb is the absolute best Serena Deeb. Less promos, more action by promos. And she just goes out there and fucking kicks ass, and who's going to fucking stop her, So I think it worked out well. I would have loved to have seen a double turn in the ring, because the crowd clearly was going to cheer for Toni Storm. All it took Deeb to do was go out there and do some heel shit during the match, give some boos, and then turn the tide and put Toni over as more of a baby face in that regard. It would have been fantastic. But for what we got, I enjoyed it. Damn good match.
See some people in the chat asking why Jesse's black and white. Why the fuck do you think he's black and white?
They're new here. The chat, the chat is telling them that the regulars are filling them in. The regulars are letting the news
He's
know.
Timeless. Holy shit, man. That's why.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the noobs will be informed by our regulars. We're good.
Yeah. Well, we'll pick it up. Deeb tried to wrestle Toni. There was a lot of joint manipulation, a lot of leg holds, submission holds here. We'll pick it up halfway through. So Storm dodged the dragon screw. Deeb disorientated Storm with a spinning backslide. It was over and over and over and over again. So made her dizzy, got the backslide for the two. Storm popped up, fired off a headbutt. Both ladies were down. Storm gets up, hits a backstabber in the corner. Fisherman suplex for a near fall. She wanted a big power bomb. Deeb countered into a triangle choke. Storm slammed free and sank in a Texas cloverleaf. So both ladies then get out of the hold. They start throwing some big bombs. Deeb won the exchange with a big flying clothesline. She follows up with a neck breaker through the ropes. Series of counters. Again, hits another spinning neck breaker. More reversals between both of them. Bounce back German. A big lariat gets Deeb a 2 count. So Deeb at this point starting to toy with Toni Storm. We got another big strike exchange. Storm hits a big choke bomb for 2. Deeb is in the corner now. She dodged Sweet Chic music. She dodges it, transitions into a single leg crab, starts slamming the knee down on the mat like she usually does with her opponents. And at this point, Jesse, this is where the story comes into play, because this is going to factor into what we see moving on into Toni Storm's summer. Mariah May is out in the corner. She takes the towel from Luther and is teasing throwing in the towel, similar to how Storm did for May a few weeks back. I don't remember who she was wrestling, but Luther puts a stop to it. So Storm got to the ropes, so thankfully Mariah did not do it. So this proved Luther to be right. Storm regrouped with her entourage on the outside and saw that Luther was holding the towel and not Mariah May. She didn't see that Mariah was the first one wanting to throw in the towel. So she called him a bastard, threw the towel into the crowd. Back inside, we get Storm hitting a snap German. Deeb flips off Storm, who ultimately at this point hits Storm 0 for a 2. Storm wanted one more on the apron, but the knee gave out, and Deeb hit a beautiful Deeb tox on the apron. Then she gets back in the ring and delivers another one for a super close 2 count. This is when the crowd's starting to get into it. Both ladies went up into the corner, up the ropes. Toni Storm out of nowhere hits an avalanche, Storm 0, and then another Storm 0 in the ring, and that was enough to put away Serena Deeb and retain the AEW Women's Championship. This was a great match. It's the story that took place between these two that led into the match, led into the pay-per-view, that people didn't really know who to cheer for at that point, and they were pretty sour on Serena Deeb, but the outcome, the substance that we got, was probably the best women's match that we got all year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not much more we can say about this. I think everyone did their job as far as in the ring. Like I said, I think the build could have been a little bit better to make Deeb look a little bit better, because she just got just straight big league by Tony's character and how she pulls it off in the build.
Yep.
But Serena Deeb made up for that in the ring during the match. Toni Storm can hold her own against anyone. So even though, Deeb is a better in-ring worker, it wasn't like she was out there trying to keep up. It wasn't like Deeb had to carry her along. Toni Storm is a phenomenal fucking wrestler as well. It's just Deeb is probably the best one there. And I think it all played well at the end. I think this is going to lead into us getting Mariah May versus Toni Storm. I think when Toni realizes that it was May that tried to throw in that towel and not Luther, I think that starts the riff. I mean, things like this always, feuds like this always start off this way. They were friends, but then they got to break them up. But clearly, I think we're heading for May versus Toni Storm feud at some point.
Yeah, I think Mariah May is the heavy favorite to win the Owen Hart Cup and get Toni Storm at Wembley, honestly.
Could be. Yep.
We could see Jamie Hayter return. Jesse and I are really getting frustrated with the fact that, we got no reporting on Jamie Hayter. We got no update on Jamie Hayter. We don't even know if Jamie Hayter's still with the fucking company, which disappeared.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I like the surprise return and shit like that, but I think we get frustrated because they were not very forthcoming with the injury when it began and the prognosis of it and shit like that. So we can kind of temper our expectations, It felt a little bit different. Like when Statlander was out, we knew exactly what it was. It was a knee injury. They showed, pics of her right before her surgery and shit like that. And we knew how long she might be out for. With Hayter, it just didn't feel like they were very forthcoming with the injury itself. And now we're just like, well, how long is she going to be out for? Well, if you would have told us that she suffered from, X, Y, and Z, I'm like, oh, shit, well, she's definitely going to be out for at least this long. Okay, fine. I still don't know exactly why Britt Baker is out. As far as I know, I didn't really see any particular injury. I just thought she was on a hiatus.
I don't know. I don't know where Britt is. I think Britt and her presence is sorely missed on television as well. As far as character work and promo, I mean, that division sorely needs her back. She looks great. I mean, I don't know what's ailing her. There was a rumor that she had back issues. I don't know if that's the case or not now, but
I don't know. They were not very forthcoming with information like that. So as fans, we're just sitting there like, where is this person? Where is that person? Where's Miro?
Yeah. I don't know.
Can you elaborate a little bit? Because it just feels like he's just not on TV.
Yep.
Same with Ricky Starks. He's not on TV. We know he's not hurt, but you didn't really give us a reason to say, oh, we can stop asking for Ricky. We can stop asking for Miro. We can stop asking for Jamie Hayter because we have an explanation as to why they're out and how long they might be out for.
From what I know, Britt is just waiting for a phone call to return to television. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a creative issue. Maybe it's a creative issue, which is an issue up and down this fucking company. Who knows? I mean, I don't want to make assumptions, but from what I know, she's ready to be back.
Maybe they have plans for her and Jamie, and maybe she's just waiting on Jamie to get clear so they can execute said plan. Who knows?
Maybe we see Britt and Mercedes. Who the fuck knows? You know?
Just give us something. Who attacked Mercedes?
I don't know. Maybe they dropped it. Maybe it was Britt. Who knows?
You can't just do shit like that and drop it, though. I mean, if nothing else, I'm Mercedes. I'm like, okay, yeah, I won my title. I'm still looking for that bitch who fucking attacked me that night, though. Just, nope. It's just fade away. They didn't do that with MJF. He didn't come back, and he just ignored the devil gimmick. He addressed it right away.
Yep.
Devil gimmick. Done. Killed it.
Yep.
All right? What else?
I don't know. We'll see. Mariah May and the towel incident will definitely be coming into play, and that will be a factor with the Mariah May and Toni Storm rumor of them being the women's championship match, potentially at Wembley, and then catapulting Mariah May to superstardom. Do we see Timeless drop the gimmick? Is she going to go back to regular Toni Storm? I don't know.
Nah, I don't see that coming anytime soon.
Anyway, moving on with the rest of the show. Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. This is where I think a lot of people, including us two right here, this is where a lot of people zoned out, tuned out of the show. Now, this is where my criticisms, this match and the next match, this is where a lot of my criticisms by the end of the night were heavy on the length of these shows. And instead of talking about this match, which, quite honestly, Jesse and I gave zero fucks about, as did you guys. We need to have... I'm sorry, Jesse, go ahead.
I had dinner during this.
Yes. I did something. I made a coffee, and I cleaned cat shit in the litter box. That's what I was doing during this match. I don't care. Orange Cassidy's a great wrestler. Think he's a very good pro wrestler. Okay, so is Trent Beretta. The story that they have here, Rocky Romero, the best friends, don't give a shit. I don't care.
Yeah. I need to preface that in case any of these guys are listening to this. I love what Orange does in the ring. I love his character work. I love the heel turn from Trent Beretta. I think a heel Trent has some legs. I think that has some potential. I think we'll start seeing that potential come Wednesday. But I just did not care about this situation and this build. I feel like I've already seen it, for the most part. The match didn't entertain me at all. We just got a lot of shit thrown at us before this match with Toni Storm and Deep, MJF return. You had this trios titles match. And we get this. This was a lull. This was a dead spot for them immediately. So, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe it would have been better off to open the show. I mean, but it wouldn't have brought as much energy. But at the same time, it wouldn't be as dead as it is right here in this spot.
No, this is where the discussion, this match specifically, and then the FTW Championship match specifically. And I said before, love all six of those guys, but I felt like the trios match could have been on a Dynamite as well. This match was best served for Dynamite. Like Jesse said, we already seen it. We saw it on Wednesday, or one of the previous Wednesdays. We've seen this now twice. We've seen Trent versus Chuck Taylor already in a fucking parking lot brawl. We don't need to see this again. This is where the discussion of how long is too long. And the discussion is, well, why don't you just enjoy the show? Jesse and I never says we didn't enjoy the show. We enjoyed the show thoroughly. We just don't want to sit here for 5.5 fucking hours and watch pro wrestling on a Sunday night. Nobody wants to indulge in anything for more than 5.5 hours. I don't understand people's skewed logic. The excuse is, oh, Tony Khan's going to give everybody their money's worth. So my rebuttal is to you people, why don't you understand that if this match was removed and Jericho's match was removed, and let's say the Trios Championship match were removed, and they were all on Dynamite and given a reason to happen on those shows, and we were left with the remaining Double or Nothing card, don't you think it would be more quality and worth more bang for your buck than having this bullshit on the fucking show?
I'll give you an olive branch here, AEW. Take these next two matches off of the main card and insert them both on the buy-in. Put them both on the fucking pre-show.
Yeah.
That way, the pre-show is still the same length because you just got a lot of fucking talking with Renee and RJ City and Jeff Jarrett. Reduce that talking. Put these two matches on there. The pre-show is not going to get any longer. It's still the same length. But then your main show is now condensed.
Yes. Yes, I don't understand why that didn't happen. Why did we need to see Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa on a fucking buy-in? Why did we need to see the Acclaim versus Toa Leona and Brian Cage. Who the fuck cares? Like, use the buy-in to fucking shorten your show. Why are you adding nothing that nobody cares about?
Nope.
This is a problem. It really is. Quality over quantity. Now, does pay-per-view buy rates affect, people's earnings at the end of the day? Did you want to get Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta a nice payday for a pay-per-view payday? Sure. But what happens when you move all this shit to Max? Are they going to get fucking paydays? Are you going to lessen the pay-per-views because they're on a streaming service now? I never understood how Tony Khan's he's got to charge $50 and he's got to get $50 worth of pay-per-view. $50 of worth of pay-per-view would have been it probably would have been more than $50 with the fucking 6 or 7 matches he should have gave us instead of all this fucking fluff. I don't understand that logic. And then I got people arguing with me, telling me to go fucking suck a dick because I think these pay-per-views are too long. How many times have Jesse and I talked about the NXT TakeOver model? It's the same model. I'm not saying that AEW's got to give you 5 matches. 7 matches and then 3.5 hours to tops 4 hours. Maybe start the show at 7 o'clock. I don't see what the big deal is there. Why do we need to end this show at near 1 o'clock in the morning? It's fucking ridiculous. The overall show is beating the customer and the viewer down, and it was felt going into the World Championship match. You felt the energy die after that fucking championship match was over.
And that was the thing, by the time the main event came around, the last match, the actual main event, I was invested in watching it, but I was just fucking beat. I got people in my mentions saying, "Oh, well, you can't hang? What are you getting old? What are you getting this? Or you should do more." Bro, I don't want to sit on my couch for 6 hours straight. That just drags me down. If I'm out at a party, if I'm out kicking it, if I'm out hanging out somewhere, walking around at the bar, doing shots, doing this, I'm fine. I'm great. I'll go all fucking night. I'm sitting there on my couch watching wrestling. By the time the main event got around, bro, I was just tired. I'm just fucking trying to keep my head up. It had nothing to do with the action of the match. The action of the last match was fantastic. But since 5:30 that evening, it's now 11:30 in the evening my time, I'm sitting on that couch, getting up for bathroom breaks only. It just gets exhausting, bro. Nobody wants to sit in one spot for that goddamn long.
No, this is the reason why the MLB now has a pitch clock. They shorten the fucking game, no matter what you think of it. I think fans are loving the fact that they're in and out. WWE's making more money hand over fist now by doing 2-day WrestleManias. How do you think those fans feel not having to sit there for 8 fucking hours, especially in a hot climate where WrestleMania goes down south? You want to sit there in the baking sun for 8 fucking hours? 4 hours, 3.5 hours sounds a lot better to me, right? Over 2 days, You're out of there at 10:30, 11 o'clock. You go to the fucking bar, you party, you get some sleep. You do the same thing all over again. Then you go to Raw. Who the fuck wants to sit there for 8 hours? Nobody.
I'm complaining having to sit on my comfortable ass couch, and getting tired of sitting there. What about the fucking people sitting there in those hard ass fucking fold chairs? What about those people? They were sitting there even fucking longer. Come on, man.
This does not need to be on the show, period. Start saving this shit for Dynamite or Collision. Make your pay-per-views fucking top of the line. At best, maximum, you should have 7 matches max on these shows. They should not eclipse 3.5 hours. I don't know what the fucking problem is with time management in this company. It's been a problem since day one. I understand. Listen, this model worked when Tony Khan had 4 fucking pay-per-views all year. Now you're leaking to 10, 9, 10 pay-per-views. You want people to sit there for 5.5 hours every fucking show now that you got 9 pay-per-views per year? Give me a break, man. That worked fucking 3 years ago, 4 years ago. In 2024, that shit ain't gonna fucking fly. And I hope to God that that's a change when we get to Max and all this shit now goes over to Max. You can still charge me $50, but I want fucking top of the line. I don't want fucking Shibata and FTW and Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta. This shit is best served for Rampage. So I'm basically paying for Rampage. Part of my $50 went to a fucking match that's best served for fucking Rampage. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a great show like they did last night, but it was just too long, it's easy to start looking at shit and saying, well, what didn't need to happen?
Yes.
Or this
Yes.
didn't need to be there. This didn't need to be there. Take these two out, and the show was an hour shorter. That would have made the rest of the show feel a lot better. The overall feel of the show would be a lot smoother, less complaints about the length if you just taken out a couple of matches that genuinely not too many people really cared about to begin with anyway.
And this is not the only time I'm going to mention this. This really started to get the feels, with that aspect, with that criticism coming out. So, I mean, me personally, you guys might have loved the 6-man. Jesse loved the 6-man. He enjoyed the wrestling match. I felt like it could have been saved for a Dynamite, honestly. Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta off the show. Nobody gives a shit about this. I'm not even going to go into it because the most important thing that happened here at the end was Beretta losing. Orange Cassidy beat Trent Beretta, and then at the end of the match, after the beach break, Cassidy wanted an orange punch. Trent tried to counter. Cassidy used the bottom rope to float over and get a flash pin on Beretta. Beretta was in disbelief. He was going to walk to the back. He was stopped by Rocky Romero and Renee Paquette to get a word on what he was feeling. Beretta says he's not doing this, and he's done. He shoved Romero out of the way and left through the crowd. So we don't know what's happening there. We kind of alluded to or maybe made speculation that Trent was going to join Don Callis because Don Callis has been, kind of befriending Orange Cassidy. Maybe flip the switch there. Don Callis comes out later in the show and says that he's going to offer a contract to the Don Callis family on Wednesday. Is that going to be to Orange Cassidy? He did not say Orange Cassidy. Is it going to be Orange Cassidy or is it going to be Trent Beretta? So that's probably what we're going to find out on Wednesday. So again, Trent Beretta walking out, disgruntled, is the biggest part of this match. Otherwise, it shouldn't have taken place on the show.
Oh my God, bro.
What?
Bill Walton is just passed away.
How old was he?
71.
Jesus, that's young.
NBA Hall of Famer, legend, icon.
That's young.
Bill Walton.
Wow. Just now? Just speculated? Announced now?
TMZ reports. Hall of Famer Bill Walton dead at 71. Battle with cancer.
That sucks.
Now my feeds are exploding. Everyone is reporting this now.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man. That sucks.
It's tough to get that news, man.
Prayer emojis for the legend Bill Walton, man.
Moving on with the rest of the show here. Chris Jericho, Hook, Katsuyori, Shibata, FTW Championship match for the World Championship. Again, my statement on Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta applies here. This match should have taken place on Collision or taken place on Rampage. Nobody's enjoying the Chris Jericho learning triangle or storyline. Hook deserves a lot better. I don't know where they're going with Samoa Joe now being involved with Hook and Shibata. Maybe we get a trios out of that. That would be interesting. Anytime Samoa Joe is on TV, please sign me up. But until we get to that point, nobody really gives a shit about this or any part of this FTW learning tree bullshit. So we'll pick it up at the end. I mean, this was a hardcore match because that's the ruling of the title. So we get Jericho retaining the championship here. Shibata locked in a figure 4. Hook applied a red rum at the same time, which was a callback to last week. A masked man hit the ring and placed a trash can over Shibata before hitting a senton. Hook was taken out with the Judas effect. The masked man revealed himself to be Brian Keith. Jericho then pinned Shibata, who was still covered in the trash can, to win the match. Post-match, Jericho demanded security to save him from Hook, who wiped them all out before storming to the back. There was trash cans, there were kendo sticks, there was a table, there was a bag of dice, because it's Vegas, playing dice, blackjack dice, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I think I'll look. I'll pose the question that everyone is asking themselves. Did the Brian Keith reveal completely overshadow and bury MJF returning early in the night? I think it did. I mean, I think it did on so many different levels, man. I think Brian Keith just changed the goddamn game.
Man, what are you talking about, man? This reveals Brian Keith in the learning tree is bigger and greater than Hulk Hogan revealing himself to be the third man.
Oh, I mean,
come on now, man.
I didn't say it. You did. I just said it was bigger than the
Brian
MJF
Keith
return.
is the modern day Hulk Hogan, bro.
You called that one. I'm not going that far. I'm just saying that MJF is buried now that the bounty hunter is under the learning fucking tree, bro.
I mean, in all seriousness, how are we supposed to care when I think we discussed this on Wednesday? Brian Keith has had such a backseat role, Jesse, in the company since he's joined AEW as a signed contracted performer. Now, I understand Jericho wants to work with younger talent, and I understand Jericho wants to mold younger talent and maybe start building some future pieces of the company, and he feels like he's best served for that role. But up until this point, did anybody give a shit about Brian Keith? Did anybody know who Brian Keith is? Has Brian Keith been in the forefront of AEW television or on AEW television enough for you to care about who he is and what his character is and where he potentially could be? No.
Bruh.
None of these things happened.
Bruh, I heard through my sources that Brian Keith was about to get a new show launched by TBS about him being the new bounty hunter. Fuck the dog. We have the Keith bounty hunter, and he's going to go around arresting criminals around the country.
Well, you know, we got a new bounty hunter here in the OTS venue.
There we go. Oh, that's a double.
Benjamin Cohen with a $200 super chat. All he says is simply, hello, JD. Benjamin, how the fuck are you doing, Benjamin? What the fuck are you drinking, Benjamin?
Wow.
Holy shit. Brian Keith had a promo with Chris Jericho on Collision, basically alluding to, watch what he does next. And here he is, joining the learning tree on Double or Nothing. I mean, you could have heard a fucking old lady fart at the MGM Grand. This got over like you would expect. Nobody gave a shit. Which, again, has me asking the question, why was this on the show? Like, I get Jericho is... Listen, Jericho, his value to AEW, you can't put a price on it. Can't. First AEW champion, basically took the company as his own and fucking took it, ran off with it. There is no AEW without Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. But do we need this? Do we need Jericho on pay-per-view? Do we need this match to take place on pay-per-view? No. Start cutting some fat, TK. Start trimming around that steak before you put it on the grill and trim the fucking fat, man. We don't need this type of shit on pay-per-view. I don't want to spend $50. To me, this is worthless. I don't want to spend $50 for this. I don't mind watching this on fucking cable television, but I don't want to be paying an extra $50 to see the FTW Championship and Brian Keith joining the learning tree. I don't care.
Now, here's the thing. If it was just there for filler and to help, just fluff up the pay-per-view a little bit, fine. But the show is already too long.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's already too long. And if we're trying to trim it with things that didn't really need to be there, the last two matches, that's an easy fix. It's an easy fix.
It is an easy fix. Like I said, just trim the fat. It's not that difficult to do. Please make these shows much more worthwhile. How much would have, everything else would have been that much more important if it was consolidated and toned down, which, again, I'm going to use this as a prime example for other instances later on in the show. And the next match, it applies to as well, because I'm never going to sit here and tell you that Jon Moxley doesn't belong on pay-per-view and Konosuke Takeshita doesn't belong on pay-per-view. But this was a non-title, and we got another one. I'll get to them in a second. We got a non-title IWGP World Championship title eliminator match, which we'll talk about in a second, because Benjamin...
I'm so sorry.
My guy, Benjamin Cohen. Another $100 super chat. He says he's in the hospital right now, fighting cancer, and they transferred me to a cancer hospital.
Oh, my God.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Benjamin, and I want everybody, all 3,000 of you, to leave Benjamin some prayer emojis. He's watching the show. He sees the chat. Send your thoughts and well wishes to my guy, Benjamin Cohen. $300 in super chat this evening on the AEW Double or Nothing post.
So sorry, bro. Please fight, man. Get better soon.
Get better soon. Get back to us and be in the venue, man. Sit in VIP with a nice cold beverage. Jon Moxley, Jesse, Konosuke Takeshita, eliminator match for the IWGP World Championship. Takeshita wins. He gets a championship match at a later date. Everybody presumed it would be at Forbidden Door. I thought the match was fine, but the fact of the matter is, Jesse, we went into this thinking, all right, well, Takeshita needs a win, right? Eliminator match. Maybe they set this up for Forbidden Door. That would be a great opponent for Jon Moxley. Championship match on the line. It'll give them another 4 or 5 weeks to tell an actual story here to make the match a little bit more meaningful. Takeshita did not win, and everybody thought he would win because this wasn't a championship match. Moxley losing would not have him lose the championship. Jon Moxley ended up beating Takeshita here, and they made a little sub-story here for Takeshita for him not listening to Don Callis. And if he did, he would have won the match and netted himself a future championship match. I don't want to sit here and tell you that both of these guys don't belong on pay-per-view because they absolutely do. But the fact that Tony Khan made this match a world title eliminator, bro, it shouldn't have been on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say it. Now, if we're trying to trim matches from the pay-per-view, I'm not going to complain about having Jon Moxley and Takeshita on my show on the pay-per-view. So that absolutely stays. I don't understand the change of the stipulation and the outcome, like you just pointed out. That's kind of weird to me. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, it's a fantastic match. Let's see where the story is taking us because this made no sense on the surface. Maybe the long-term storytelling will reveal itself and it will make sense. But, yeah, if this was just an eliminator match and not a title match, and if Moxley was supposed to win, where are we going from here? He's not getting a title match. He didn't win the eliminator match. I mean, so why was it not a title match?
So what do we have planned for Takeshita, honestly? Like, he's in the Don Callis family. He didn't listen to Don Callis. If he did, he would have won the match. He would have got himself a championship match. Where are we going with Takeshita?
Are they about to turn him back to babyface and replace him with Trent?
I don't know. It's a possibility. Why would you do that?
I don't know. They didn't really do anything with this heel run of his, to be honest. I mean, so I don't understand why the rift was teased between them, because I think they're leaving a lot more on the table with him and Don Callis. So I don't think they should be broken up right now.
Takeshita is finding himself in this lull. Don't know where he's going. A lot of people look at him as a world championship caliber performer. He is. He's fucking unbelievable. You got the international championship being held by Will Ospreay. I don't find him to be dropping that championship anytime soon. Okada's holding the Continental Championship. That's the other title that a lot of people correlate with Takeshita. Oh, he should go after the Continental title. He should go after the International Championship. Where does he find himself? He finds himself in the middle of nothing. He's too good to be in the middle of nothing. They've stopped and started pushes for Takeshita more times than I care to count, and then they put him in a fucking eliminator match for a championship that's not even theirs, and he still can't fucking win.
Takeshita was just recently interviewed and given his thoughts about how he didn't really have faith in his booking. I paraphrase, but he basically wasn't happy with his booking while in AEW.
Now, we don't know if that's a work or a shoot, though. Where Jason and I talked about that on TNT this past Tuesday. He thinks, and I tend to agree that I think it's a work.
Could be. But then you got this outcome that makes no sense that we're sitting here talking about right now.
I don't know. I don't know where they go with him. Listen, I get what you're saying, Jesse, but if they wanted this to really feel like a pay-per-view match, then the championship should have been on the line. And they should have did a better job of telling a story as to why the championship was on the line and why Takeshita wanted the world championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the fact of the matter is this was an eliminator match. So by that account, this was a Dynamite main event for a future Dynamite, not on pay-per-view. Simple change of the stipulation could have really changed all that. And we got another $100 bomb here. Jason Barker with a $100 super chat. I want to make Benjamin feel better, JD. Can you please have Red Sky's dynamite rant about how much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? We're talking about Kevin Dunn? Jason, thank you, brother. Benjamin, everybody wants you to feel better, brother. Including Jason Barker, who is very generous today with the $100 super chat. Thank you, man. So, yes, Takeshita and Moxley. I mean, this was. Listen, I watched Collision on Saturday. Takeshita attacked Moxley. Moxley came out with his shoulder completely wrapped. He came out wearing a very similar getup to what he wore the first Double or Nothing, where he attacked Chris Jericho and then brawled with Kenny Omega on the poker chips. It was like a black jean jacket with Moxley written in orange. Looked great. Nice little throwback there. This match was very one-sided. Moxley was getting his ass handed to him. So we'll pick it up towards the end here. So Moxley countered into a triangle. Takeshita had him in a pile driver position, transitioned into an arm breaker. Moxley countered into a triangle choke. Takeshita then raked the eyes, hit a power bomb. Moxley got to the ropes when Takeshita started putting him in another armbar. Takeshita argued with the referee. This was long enough for Moxley to send him to the outside and hit a suicide dive on Takeshita on the outside. So we go back in. Takeshita tried for a charge, ran into Moxley's King Kong Lariat. Takeshita spun out of a paradigm shift, hit the Strong Zero into a wheelbarrow German, and he went for a big knee lift. But Moxley met him with a desperation paradigm shift out of nowhere. So they both get up. They both strike their way back. One going after the other. They get back to their feet. Moxley collapses off of a Takeshita vicious forearm. Takeshita connected on a big knee, but Moxley kicked out. Moxley dodged a big forearm strike from Takeshita and sank in a bulldog choke. He wanted the Death Rider, but his arm gave out. Takeshita posted him on the steel post, and then he hit the big home run forearm, which I thought was enough. I thought he was going to get the victory off that, but no. Death Rider on Moxley from Takeshita, so he used his own finishing move. I thought that was it. He got a 2 count. Moxley kicked out of his own finish. Callis from the outside signal for the end. Takeshita threw chairs in from underneath the ring. Rick Knox proceeded to toss them out. But as his back was turned, it allowed Moxley to hit a curb stomp on the chair, which followed up with a Death Rider by Moxley, and that was enough for the win. So that's what you alluded to earlier, Jesse. Rick Knox was looking at the fucking chairs, and then
just watching it.
Moxley ended up using the chair for a victory anyway. Where's the fucking DQ? Whatever.
Just fucking watching the chair. I'm like, okay, the ref's going to throw this chair out, get back to the action, and get back in it. Nope, he's waiting for his cue. Just watching the chair. And then finally, you know, either a TK or a Young Buck is in his ear saying, okay, you can turn around now. And he turns around. Bro, it just looks so... You have to give your referee some kind of fucking integrity, man. You got to help them out a little bit here.
Yeah. And please, while you're at it, creative, help out Takeshita. Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing with him? He's felt so lost for so long, and I don't know what's going on there. But Moxley is the IWGP champion. He's got a title defense coming up against Evil, I believe, at some show this summer, a couple of weeks away.
But yet you and Jason believe that his interview was a work. I mean,
Jason thinks it's a work, yeah.
But we're looking at this booking right here, and it kind of makes no sense, and it kind of leads to what he was saying in that interview.
I don't know. We'll see. But Moxley wins. I get why the names are on the pay-per-view, but the match itself didn't need to be on pay-per-view. Adam Copeland.
Nope.
Oh, we got Benjamin. I'm sorry. Benjamin with another... Holy shit. Benjamin Cohen with a $100 super chat to follow up with his 200 and 100 previously. Says, thank you, but the cancer rate for what I have is 100% a cure. Good.
There we go. That's good to hear, bro. Thank you.
It's good to hear, brother. It's still scary, though.
Yeah.
Still scary. Nobody wants to hear the C word anytime in their life. So, Benjamin, thank you so very much, man. And you still have the love, thoughts, and prayers of the OTS family with you to get 100% better. Adam Copeland, Malakai Black, Barbed Wire Steel Cage match for the TNT Championship. I was very much looking forward to this because Malakai's having a one-on-one match for championship, and Adam Copeland is diving deep into the evilness that is, you know, the blackness of his heart when he gets into these moods. I love it. I think the build for this has been pretty decent, honestly. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this. I love both of these guys. It definitely was very similar to what he did with Seth Rollins. Not going to lie. It's nothing new that's breaking the foundations of pro wrestling here. But a barbed wire steel cage match, I don't know how anybody could not be entertained by the stipulation we got and the TNT Championship being on the line. This was a war from the very beginning. We seen blood very early on. I would say this ranks up there in the upper echelon of most violent matches in AEW history. We got a bloodbath on Malakai on Wednesday. We got Adam Copeland being evil. And we got a return, or a cameo appearance, I should say, of one Gangrel, who has been synonymous with Edge's career. So we got a little bit of everything here. The entrances were great. Malakai got a great long-winded entrance, gave him a big superstar spotlight feel. Adam Copeland, very similar to what he did, Jesse, came out at WrestleMania 39 before his Hell in a Cell match with Finn Balor, the same way he did here tonight against Malakai. He came out to Slayer's South of Heaven. So he didn't come out to Alter Bridge. He really wanted to come out with more of an evil vibe, and Slayer fits that. What'd you think of the entrances and the overall vibe of this match?
Oh, I loved it. I don't know if the I would have preferred the original Brood music, but either way, I loved it. I don't know if that's in public domain or if WWE still has it. I don't fucking know. But either way, and that's just, I'm not familiar with Slayer. That's why I'd have been like, you know, Brood music. Wait, did they hit that when Gangrel came out?
No.
No, they didn't.
No.
Okay, so yeah, no, I loved it. I think I like this dark side of Edge. We don't get it very often, and he uses it when, you know, when it's pertinent. And going against someone like Malakai, it absolutely was pertinent, and it made sense here. So I enjoyed everything about this one, man.
Yeah, this was fun. Definitely. Love the entrance, love the vibe, love the ambiance. So we got blood early because Malakai had barbed wire raked across his face. This busted him open immediately. Black was looking for the end, or what he used to call Black Mass, his finish. He went for it twice. He went for it a second time. Copeland hit an impaler DDT. Copeland charged for a corner spear, landed in the ropes, had his legs swept out from under him, came face first down on some barbed wire. So within, like, I don't know, what'd you say, 5 minutes? Both of these guys were fucking busted open?
Oh, God, they were, done easily, quickly.
So we got dueling chants here. Black hit a big high kick. He grabbed more barbed wire baseball bat that was hanging from the cage. There were weapons strewn about before they even got in there. Tables, chairs, barbed wire hanging from the fucking top of the cage, a bat hanging up there. So he raked it across Copeland's head before trying a concerto with the bat. Copeland obviously dodged that, thank God, and smacked Black in the ribs with the barbed wire baseball bat. Copeland returned the favor. He raked the bat across the head of Black before placing him on a table. Copeland climbed the ropes, but Black kicked the legs out and crotched Copeland. Black managed a sunset flip power bomb off the top rope through the table on Copeland, which was a great spot. And he went for the end again. He went for the Black Mass again. He missed it for a third time. This was with Copeland now countering into a spear after the third attempted miss. Copeland set up Black on another table, this time wrapping him in barbed wire before laying him on the table. Copeland climbed to the top of the cage and took way too long. And I was saying to myself, someone is going to die here tonight. Oh. Someone is going to die. He's up there, and this is the spot that everybody's talking about, which right now rumored he was asked, Tony Khan, at the scrum last night, is Copeland injured? Is there an injury update on Copeland? Tony Khan didn't have an update. He basically said he hopes for the best, and he hopes that Adam Copeland is not injured. Hopefully we find out what his diagnosis is as of Wednesday. But, Jesse, he was up there, and I thought Copeland was going to jump off the top of the cage and deliver a splash off the top rope.
Me too.
I don't know what he intended on delivering here, but instead of flopping for a big splash off the rope, which probably would have been easier for him to navigate and nail a little bit better, obviously it still would have sucked either way. It would have been a lot safer. He decided to come down, basically him off the top of the cage, and jump feet first, like he's jumping into a fucking pool. And he delivered what looked to be like a standing elbow drop, but he jumped like 20 feet off the fucking cage onto Malakai. Now, I attested it to, it looks like he abandoned ship. It looked like he was about to deliver what we all thought he was going to deliver, but then he jumped and said, fuck this shit, and kind of tried to reroute himself midair. And it looked like it was worse than anybody could have imagined. But he came straight down onto the hard canvas, delivered an elbow. The table broke. Malakai went through the table. But Jesus Christ, Jesse, at 50 years old, he could have broken not only one ankle, 2 ankles. He could have broke a fucking leg. I mean, 50 years old, this guy is a fucking psychopath.
That was scary, bro. That was scary. I'm all about the entertainment, just like everyone else here, but I don't want to see anybody fucking hurt themselves doing that. And I don't know. I hope he's okay.
He finished the match, so I'm hoping he's all right. You know, is he banged up? Is he going to be wrestling on Wednesday? I pray to God not. So Copeland, after jumping off the cage, went to go cover. Black barely kicked out. Copeland charged for a spear. Black finally, after a 4th attempt, hit Black Mass, only for Copeland to kick out. Black pulled out I don't know what the fuck this was. It looked like a metal rod, a microphone stand of barbed wire. Tried to stab Copeland with it. He stabbed the fucking mat. It went right through the mat. Copeland was placed against the cage door. Black kicked Copeland so hard, he went through the door of the steel cage and now was on the outside of the cage. So Black went after. Copeland started firing off some shots. He has a desperation spear. Both guys are down. All of a sudden, we see Brody King and Buddy Matthews walk to the ring. And they, all of a sudden, and they had me fucking fooled. I don't know how you guys felt. I'm like, are we going to see like a reformation of Judgment Day here in AEW? Yeah. That's the fucking first thing I thought. Buddy and Brody stood side by side with Adam Copeland, and Malakai was like, what? He's like, no, please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. So all 3 of these guys stand up, and Malakai looks to be, the one getting turned on. And all of a sudden, Brody delivers a devastating clothesline to Adam Copeland. It was all a setup, and they took him out. So everyone's back in the ring now. Black placed Copeland's wedding ring around his neck, which is a great visual. Copeland had a crown of barbed wire placed on him. When the lights went red all of a sudden, they started flickering. Matthews and King appeared to be misted, and Gangrel showed up from underneath the ring. So Gangrel hits an Impaler DDT on Matthews. Black took him out with a big jumping knee. Copeland flew in out of nowhere on the opposite end with a spear before wrapping the barbed wire around Black's face, trapped him in a crossface. Black faded, went out. Copeland retains after Malakai passes out with the barbed wire crossface. He retains the TNT title. Gangrel smiled, and they embraced and hugged in the middle of the ring as the House of Black was defeated here at Double or Nothing. Great match, bloody, violent, a war that should have been finality on the feud that they were building, Jesse. We got the cameo of Gangrel. I thought that was fucking awesome, no matter what you think. The callback. Edge, Adam Copeland wanted this to happen in WWE. They told him absolutely not. You know who did it for him? Tony Khan. He made it happen. I thought everything about this was great. Easily one of the best things of the entire night.
Yeah, man. The reunion was fantastic. It sucks that we couldn't get Christian out there with them at that moment. Because I hope they took pics of that backstage.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, because that was an awesome reunion, but it just doesn't fit the gimmick. But it's good to see Gangrel, man. He looks good. People recognize him. They remember where he's from. They know that he was instrumental in both Copeland and Christian getting over it when they first started their careers.
Yep.
Between him and the Hardys, they were very instrumental in getting those guys over. And my God, did they get over or what?
They did. I mean,
Yeah,
Gangrel is a proponent of where these guys are sitting right now. I mean, without Gangrel, who the fuck knows where they'd be?
Absolutely, man. It was a great moment. I'm glad he got to shine in that moment. It made sense. It was a fantastic spot. Everyone enjoyed it. So, good shit, man. Loved it. I mean, I hope they took some pictures and that we get to see it at some point with all three of them together backstage.
Yeah, and shout out to Adam Copeland. I mean, at 50 years old, he is a crazy motherfucker, and I love every bit of it. Does he need to do half of the shit he does? No. He does it because no one is going to stop that man from writing the final chapters of his career. He's come back from a neck injury, fortunate enough. He was out for 9 years. There's a lot of, he made up for a lot of lost time in WWE. He's making up for even more lost time here in AEW. You could look back at some of the last few months and some of the brightest parts of AEW when there hasn't been a lot to really get excited about. Adam Copeland, honestly, has been some of the best parts of AEW in this last couple of months of it being a down period. And his body of work has been tremendous. And he's just fucking killing it. I hope he's all right. I hope he's not seriously injured. But this is just a testament to how great Adam Copeland is in AEW. Is he a game changer? Is he bringing in the ratings? No, he's not. But the body of work speaks for itself, and he's fucking great. I love him.
More importantly, he looks like he's out there enjoying himself.
Yes, absolutely.
He's enjoying what he's doing, man. So, I mean, I'm happy to see that. Remember, don't forget, man, we had a time when we thought we'd never see him wrestle again, and now he's out there just flat out enjoying himself, man, with his best friend right there by his side in the locker room. We love to see it, man.
He's putting people over. He's getting people in spotlights. Who knows where Malakai would be if he wasn't feuding with fucking Adam Copeland here. Adam Copeland probably, just like Bryan Danielson, went to Tony Khan and said, I want Malakai. Let's get this guy on a fucking pay-per-view. I want to go all balls to the wall, barbed wire. I want the blood. I want the House of Black. I want the callback again. Let's do it. It all makes sense. It's probably all Adam Copeland.
Yep. And I'm in my feed that Mark Henry is not re-signing.
Mark Henry is leaving AEW, yes.
Oh, man. That sucks, man.
I don't know what brought that decision on, but he says it was a mutual parting of ways.
Yep, they just didn't renew. It was mutual. He's leaving on good terms. There is no heat. There's nothing like that. So please stop before they start the fucking rumors.
Could they have used Mark Henry a little bit more prominently in like, how good AEW uses their legends? They probably could have used them a little bit better, right?
I absolutely would have put Mark Henry in a commissioner type role in AEW.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But he says he's going to take some time to do some stuff, and then he's not done with pro wrestling, which tells me he's going back to the E when he's ready to go.
We'll see. We will see what happens there. Moving on with the rest of the show here. Mercedes. We now get into the triple main event. Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightingale for the AEW TBS Championship. Now, I and Jesse have been looking forward to this for many, many, many months. And no matter, Jesse, what people think of Mercedes and her usage or the usage of Mercedes on AEW television, there were a lot of rumors going around that she was cleared since December. Why did they wait? I'm not going to meddle in anybody's business. If Mercedes felt like she wasn't ready, she relayed that message to management, and they respected her decision. Simple as that. A lot of people are asking, what is Mercedes going to do for this division? What is Mercedes bringing to AEW? She didn't really do much for WWE. Those people are bullshitters. Give me a break. All the dissension now is over the fact that she didn't go back to WWE and she's taking a chance on herself. Mercedes, a lot of microscopes were going to be on Mercedes' performance on Sunday night, Jesse. And I'm here to tell you that after the long wait, was it the best performance of Mercedes' career? No. But Mercedes wrestled her ass off. Mercedes moved well. She looked great. She got the superstar entrance. She's the new TBS champion. And after last night, Jesse, against Willow, who I know you and I will both praise because Willow had a great performance as well. If Mercedes can stay healthy and deliver performances like she did last night against Willow, the division is going to be infinitely better off because of it. This is what Mercedes brings to the division. If they can tighten up her character and make her less cartoony and a little bit more organic, stop booking Mercedes like she's Sasha Banks in WWE, she can tie up all those loose ends and just tighten up the character and the promo. With what she did last night, Jesse, this division is going to be so good with her at this level.
Yeah, and I think these women delivered. I've been nothing but a proponent and an advocate of Willow since she has started. When everyone was just talking shit about her and saying horrible things and just saying, well, who cares? Nobody knows her. I mean, from what I've been seeing of her, I loved her work from the get-go. I didn't, I'm not gonna sit here and say I predicted she'd be good enough to be champion within a year or so. I mean, but I'm glad to see that she did, get to that level. I'm going to talk about something here, though, that might get heat or whatever, but I'm used to it at this point. I'm gonna go on record now and say, I didn't say this before, but I'm going to go on record now and say I'm not a fan of Mercedes getting her first match and a title win at a pay-per-view right away as soon as she got into AEW.
Yeah, but, I mean, people are going to attribute that to the money that Tony signed her for. He wants to make her the face of the division, so he's going to do whatever he has to do to take Sasha Banks and put her at the top of the women's division because that's what he needs to do. That's what the division needs. Someone with this amount of star power. It sucks. It doesn't make sense, but I could see the logistics behind it.
I do not. Unless she signed a fucking 2-month deal, then relax. We have time. You're not going anywhere. How about we get you on TV with some matches? How about we get some kind of momentum going on? I mean, if you want your first match to be at a pay-per-view, great. We can save your first match for a pay-per-view. I don't understand why A had to be for a title and then B already dethroning a young up-and-comer in the women's division who absolutely needs a rub like being world champion and beating someone like a Mercedes Mone at a pay-per-view. I mean, look, that's here nor there, but in fairness to the multitude of women in that company who have not gotten the kind of look that Mercedes has gotten, and I understand, the level that she's being brought in on. I mean, she could have came in and given opportunities to those women lower than her on the card by giving them singles matches, letting them, put Mercedes over and at least help build some kind of credibility to Mercedes getting a title match and a title win, as opposed to saying, I'm signed, I'm going to come in and cut some promos and do a little, shimmer dance, and instantly I'm the champion. Mercedes needs to be champion because of what you're paying her. That's great. But where does it say that she has to be champion right now? We need it now, instantly. We can't wait. What is the rush?
You're not wrong.
What is the rush? We have time. Tell us a story. We'll get there. We have big pay-per-views. It's going to be a long summer. I've been saying for quite a few months now that I expect this to be the summer of the AEW women's division. And she is an integral part of that. That's great. But what would we have to look forward to now? She's already fucking champion. Where are we going next?
It doesn't make sense. And Jesse's 100% correct. I gave you the business reason why that Mercedes is the TBS champion. Jesse's giving you the fan, criticism. And we've been saying this for weeks. What gave her the right to be number one contender? Hey, I want a TBS title shot. I'm calling my shot at Double or Nothing. Match is made. Just like that. Well, why?
Just like that.
Nobody asked why. I mean, if you like your intelligence insulted, then by all means, you go and enjoy the match. I thought it was a great match. But I'm going to sit here, and Jesse's going to sit here and ask, why is she getting a championship match based off what we've seen, or in this case, haven't seen on television? If she was cleared, why didn't she wrestle a big-name opponent and be made into a big deal with her first match in AEW on Dynamite or Collision? I don't understand it. What did she do The company's got rankings. Clearly, you don't give a shit about the rankings. And then I get the fucking goalposts moved by the AEW cultists. Oh, the TBS Championship is a TV title. It doesn't factor into the rankings. Yes, it does, jackass. Because if you go to the ranking system, who the fuck do they got standing there next to Tony Storm? They got the TBS champion. The rankings go up and down the board for both championships. So I ask, and Jesse asks, where is Mercedes? Who did Mercedes beat? Why did none of these fucking geeks at the scrum push Tony Khan to ask, well, why is she getting a championship match? She's not won one match here. If you don't want the comparisons to Charlotte Flair and everybody else, well, maybe you should be booking Mercedes a little bit differently. This is where the best wrestle, right? How the fuck can she call herself the best wrestler in the world when she hasn't wrestled one fucking match here yet?
Deonna Purrazzo is, I mean, if you ask me, she is just as good in the ring as Mercedes is. She is just as fucking good. If you want to say Mercedes is better, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Yeah, but the difference is, Jesse, what happened with Deonna when she came in?
And she got matches.
Yes.
Under her belt. She got some story.
What else did she get, man? The ever elusive. What'd she get?
Oh, she got the graphic. She got an L. You know.
Oh, she got wins. She won matches.
That's that too. I mean, she put in work in the division, man.
Was the story great? No, it was whatever. It wasn't fucking, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this story. But they gave her a story too. They made the match make sense.
They did. They did. And it made sense as to how she got her title. I mean, there was a story built in that they used it. You know, they tried to, piggyback off of that. I mean, I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I'm happy Mercedes is here. I am not a Mercedes hater. I'm not being nitpicky. This is actually a big fucking deal. How did she come in and get a world title match right away?
But Jesse, they did have it, or according to the people online, there was a story. It was a built-in story after what happened and the injury between Mercedes and Willow, the injury spot, the match that they had last year in Japan. Oh, yeah. Great.
You know who thinks that story works? People who didn't actually watch that match. I watched the match, so I've seen the match. I know that story makes no fucking sense.
I watched that match, and I watched Mercedes' match against Kyrie too. I thought both matches. Kyrie was obviously better. The match here with Mercedes was fucking foiled with the injury. But the only people that make sense to are the people in AEW and the people who are fans of AEW who don't want to admit when there is no story. And they're looking for any possible reason to find a story so that they can push, oh, look, AEW's got story. It didn't happen on Dynamite. I don't give a fuck where it happened.
No, that wasn't a story. I watched the match, and Willow had absolutely nothing to do with Mercedes' injury in that match. Nothing. I mean, they could have played it off if if it happened during the move. Mercedes was doing a move on her own on the fucking top rope. She came down, twisted her shit. Willow had nothing to do with it. Even if she did, that still does not explain how she then managed to come to a company that Willow was already established in and get a title match with her at a pay-per-view for doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Serena Deeb came out and talked about how she had seizures and had to stay out for so long and had to recover, and she didn't think she'd ever wrestle again. And she's so happy that she made it to a point she can get to a title match. What did Mercedes do? She signed a deal and got one.
It's something that I want you guys to look at. And if you're getting flack from anybody on the AEW side, these cultists and elitists, don't let them push you around. There is zero issue with anybody raising the really plausible case of, well, what did Mercedes do to earn this title match outside of the fact that she's the former Sasha Banks and she can get whatever she wants? No, it don't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Is MJF coming back and getting a championship match just like that? Because I could give MJF a fucking championship match and put him right back in the position that he was in back last year. No, that's not going to happen. You know what he's going to have to do? He's going to have to win the fucking tournament to get back to Swerve Strickland.
And if they did, that would make more sense than Mercedes coming in and just getting a title match right away.
Because he was fucked over.
Look, all I'm asking for is a little bit of something. Now, when I say that, if you're telling me that getting her wins and matches beforehand just wasn't an option for some ungodly reason, whatever, okay. But, bro, tell me something. Tell me that her lawyers negotiated this title match into her deal. Tell me something. Tell me she's so much of a CEO that she held out and she wasn't going to fucking come unless she was guaranteed a title match right away, bring her in as a heel, and at least you told me something to justify why she skipped over every hard-working fucking woman in that locker room that has never gotten a title match. You did something to explain it. This way, we're just bringing her in and she's a number one contender. Why? Why? Please just tell me why so I can cheer for this and everything like that. I mean, you want me to make up my own narrative. That's not how it's supposed to go.
Whatever the case may be, don't let people bully you around for having a take like Jesse's or mine, because it really does not make sense, okay? Now, to the match itself. I thought Mercedes looked fantastic. Her entrance looked great. The ring attire was on point. Everything about her, the hair, everything was on point. Willow looked great. They both came to wrestle, okay? So the match starts, and we get them both in the ring. Mone tried to get some cheap shots. She kind of eased herself into this thing. There was big-time energy for this, obviously, because this was a big moment, her debut here in AEW. Mone ran away from Nightingale, tried to sucker her back into the ring, chasing, and then hits a step-up knee back inside. Mone hit multiple arm drags, which looked good. Nightingale was no-selling these strikes, stopped a third arm drag, and then absolutely clobbered Mercedes with a big shoulder tackle that knocked her inside out. Both ladies now missed dives on the floor. Nightingale dodged a baseball slide from Mercedes and hit a gut-wrench powerbomb on the edge of the apron. So we go back inside, and Nightingale wanted an avalanche powerbomb. Mone swept the legs out, hit the chop block on Willow. Mone got a leg lock on Willow. Both ladies now in a position where they're trading slaps back and forth. Mone kept up on the leg hold. Backstabber followed for Mone, gets a near fall. Nightingale countered an abdominal stretch from Mercedes into an ankle lock. Mone rolled out, charged, but Nightingale launched her with a pounce, which looked fucking brutal. Mone fought out of the corner and dove off the second rope. Nightingale planted her with a spine buster down for a 2. Nightingale used her power to remain in control here. Both ladies up on top. Mone slipped out, threw Willow's legs into a powerbomb off the ropes for a 2. Nightingale rolled to the apron. Mone tried for a double stomp. Nightingale moved, hit a big knee strike on the edge of the ring. Inverted cloverleaf into a giant swing, which looked great. Nightingale hits a Death Valley driver in the corner, follows up and runs into the corner and misses a senton and lands right on the back of her neck. Mone stomped on the leg of Willow again, so continuing to work that leg that she worked on previously in the match. She goes off the second rope for a Meteora, hits it, goes for a 2 count. Signature Mercedes. Nightingale rolled to the outside. Mone hits another Meteora off the apron. All of a sudden, Statlander is cheering Nightingale on and got shoved in the process by Mercedes. Hathaway is arguing with Aubrey Edwards now. Nightingale visibly in the ring as both Statlander and Stokely are arguing with Aubrey. Hits the Doctor Bomb, her finish on Mercedes, a visual pin. She did not get any referee acknowledgement here. Hathaway and Statlander realize, so they back away. Aubrey turns around. This basically cost Nightingale the match. She went for it again. Mone countered into a crossface, transitioning into the STF. Got to the ropes. Mone flipped out of the corner. Managed to get Nightingale up on her back. And this is my only criticism of the match. Hits the Moneymaker, or the Money Maker, very weak. Because Mercedes is fucking tiny. Let's be real. Willow is not. I mean, Willow is probably twice the size of Mercedes. Yet Mercedes tried to deliver an impactful finish here. It was not going to happen in this moment, this late in the match, no matter how you look at it. But that's what they ended with. Moneymaker, 1, 2, 3, new TBS champion, all thanks to Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway, who basically ruined this win here for Willow Nightingale. Mercedes celebrated on the ramp. Statlander went to console Nightingale. Stokely was fucking going in on Willow. You fucked up. This is your fault. You blew it. Statlander shoved Hathaway down and said, this is not the time to be doing this. Let's get out of here. So she walks up the ramp with Nightingale, Jesse, and all of a sudden, I don't know. You called it. You said, I smell a fucking Statlander turn. I'm like, well, we didn't get it in the match. When is it going to happen? We got it here right on the ramp. She absolutely blasts Willow with a shot on the ramp, takes her by the hair and slams her down on the ramp, picks her back up and does a discus lariat. Statlander flexed. Hathaway kissed or blew a kiss to Statlander, and that's the way the segment went off the air.
You see Statlander's outfit?
I did. What about it?
I was wondering if you saw it.
I did. Yes.
I thought it was.
Yes, it was quite lovely. Yes.
It's a fantastic outfit.
Yes, it was quite lovely.
This is the payoff to the story I've been waiting for.
Yes.
I thought it dragged a little bit, but fine. Get it to the pay-per-view, sure. I think this was the best case scenario for Chris Statlander and Willow going forward. Again, I'm going to be honest. I don't want to harp on it, but I think the feud would be a lot more interesting if she was still women's champion and then facing Statlander. It just wasn't time for Mercedes yet. But nonetheless, they have a feud now to go into that does not involve the women's title. I think it should. But nonetheless, this is the best deal for Chris Statlander right now. She is very, very good in the ring, especially for her minimal amount of experience in the business. And she is good. She has shown signs of greatness in the ring. I think pairing her with Stokely is the best thing that happened to her fucking career. He is really, really good at what he does. His reaction to Statlander completing the turn was meme-worthy. He is so good. If you don't follow Stokely on Twitter, you should, because that fucking shit continues on the social media. He is really good, and I think putting him with Statlander is going to take her fucking places, and I cannot wait to see how it unfolds. I think heel Statlander with Stokely will be a big part of, again, this AEW women's division for the summer of 2024. I can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah, listen, a lot of people could look at it bad. We talked about it with Mercedes winning the championship. The title probably would have been better on Willow. Mercedes didn't need the championship. But I feel with Willow, she was getting over the way she needed to, Jesse, as champion, because Mercedes and the star power and the aura of Mercedes was there. And Willow, she was cutting promos. She was confident. Fan support was growing week by week. How do you think this is going to affect her trajectory in the company now with the championship off of her? She lost. Are those fans going to remain sympathetic with her now that Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway turned on her? It's almost like I could see where they're going to build her further as a babyface, but they also beat her and took the championship off of her when people were just starting to get invested in her in that role.
Yes.
Now that you take a step back and you're trying to gain sympathy now by, pushing the babyface run, by having the best friend turn on Willow, like, how is that going to work out? Is that going to be a detriment to what they were building with Willow here?
I think it's going to be important to see how much heat that Stokely and Chris Statlander can get onto Willow with this turn and this feud going forward. I would have loved to have seen Willow retain, and then I know it's a debut match. I know how much money she's making. I get it. I get all of that. With that all being said, this way would have made it even more unpredictable and a little bit, easier to palate if Willow had retained and Mercedes went into a complete knip shit fit and completely just flipped on her, turned completely heel, and then just accepted all of the boos, became heel, and then Willow could have dropped the title to Mercedes in the rematch that we can get later on, and then we have Statlander go and turn on Willow and go that route. But at least Willow was able to fucking overcome, because she's the big baby face, and this newcomer comes in and gets this title shot. Willow shut all that shit down and beat her right away, making it a big fucking deal. Mercedes came in and lost who? Lost to fucking Willow. Because Willow is that bitch. And then we'll come back to it and we'll give Mercedes her win, and then we'll put her over. She can take her as much money she's fucking making. Take this first fucking L and help put Willow over before you walk in and become champion. How about that? How about fucking that? And then that gives Willow even more babyface heat, and then we bring in Statlander and Stokely to reverse on that shit. I don't know. It just the whole thing just didn't palate well with me as far as giving this girl a title as soon as she walked through the fucking door. And now, yes, Willow, I agree. I think Willow's going to have a little bit of an uphill battle now trying to retain that heat as a super baby face. And we don't know what kind of heel we're going to get from Statlander. This is her first fucking heel run.
Yeah.
We don't know. We hope that she can be evil enough to bring more heel heat for Willow to fucking play off of, but we don't know.
I'm confident in Stokely bringing that out of her. Plus, he's great on the microphone.
He is phenomenal, man. He's so good.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going. I mean, you could look at it one of two ways. You know, she's going to move on to something else completely different, or she just may kind of rebuild herself and try and get back at Mercedes, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. It's not going to happen imminently. You know, we may get match number 3 out of it. We don't know. So now they're both 1-1. One would assume that we get the tiebreaker and we get Willow getting the championship back from Mercedes, and they're just going to wait on that because at that point, Willow's going to be a bigger star, and she's going to be even bigger when she beats Mercedes. So maybe that's the direction that they're going. I don't know. Creative as of late, I don't want to put my faith in them to even get to that point because they've dropped the ball not only on, some big-time angles, they dropped the angles that really were like this one, I don't have much faith in them. So we'll see what happens there. Mercedes probably is going to move on to something a little bit more big time, being that she will probably be featured in a big time match at All In. But right now, it doesn't concern Willow. So It is a genuine concern because Willow was just starting. You were just starting to create a new star, a big star in that division. And you now stalled it for a storyline with no title. And where's it going to go? So people have concerns.
Yeah, Guardian of Chaos says Stokely doesn't bring much to the table as a manager. What's his persona? If coming from Guardian of Chaos, if you're not familiar with his background, to me that means a lot. He knows his fucking business. He is more of an old school guy. And Guardian to that, I would just say, I think the business has changed for managers a lot since you did what you did when your thing. And I think in this modern day and age, I think Stokely is fantastic at what he does as a manager.
Yeah, likewise. One criticism here. The attack on Statlander and Willow, or from Statlander on Willow, rather. They quickly went to the next segment. And this is what I said I was going to raise as a concern throughout some of the other criticisms that we had about the length of the show. If this show was cut down by an hour and 15 minutes and cut down with the 3 matches, get rid of those 3 matches that shouldn't have been on the show. Something like this would be a little bit more important. Something like this would have been allowed a lot more time to breathe, and you could have made it into a big deal. Who's talking about this at the end of the show? Who's making this a big deal? This is a forgotten aspect about the show. Meanwhile, this should have been treated as an important deal in the show. It would have been magnified more so if you cut an hour or so and other matches that didn't need to be there and in favor, focus on this. So the length of the show, when everybody's complaining, oh, you're not having fun. You like 6 hours this, 6 hours. I don't give a fuck what you like. I'm telling you the reality of the situation. A show that's 3.5 hours, and this happening on the show feels that much bigger of a deal than it does happening on a fucking 6-hour show, and everybody's not talking about it. Simple.
Yeah, no, I agree. They didn't have time to let it breathe because they did have to move on with the show. But if they would have paced the show a little bit better, then you would have had time for it to breathe. The pay-per-view is a spot for like turns like this, like you just said, they need to breathe. Pay-per-views are also a fantastic spot for dramatically long entrances. But we don't have time for all of that. When those shit, I would rather have less matches and more big-time entrances for the matches that we do get.
Yes.
I could wholeheartedly see it. It makes it lends to people getting invested into the characters going forward. It's a nice little spot. You might look at it as a number right now. If you're in AEW, you might look at it as a dollar amount. That's going to cost us this. That's going to do this. I look at it as something to help fans get further invested into people that are not quite all the way into just yet, man. See that fucking entrance with this guy? You see that fucking entrance? The main event happened. Everybody just ran their asses to the fucking ring. We didn't have time for anything.
Never mind that. I mean, linger on Chris Statlander. Linger on Stokely. I want to see body language. I want to see fucking emotion. I want to see Stokely looking into the camera or Stat looking into the camera, giving us some fucking words. Something. I want to see the camera long up the aisleway, looking at them as they're fucking exiting the scene, like going off just like that. I mean, it's how important does it come off if we got to get to the World Championship match because we're running 45 minutes overtime. Come on, man.
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that? This is why I've always said less is more. Jericho didn't need to be on the show. Hook, Shibata, fucking, Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta. If you omitted that and put literally a minute, 2 minutes into this, it would have been that much bigger of a deal. And you know what it came off as? Just another thing on the show.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Months of storyline, a turn like this, new champion being crowned. You know what, guys? We got to go to the next segment. Come on, man.
Give Shivani and Taz time to
assess the whole situation, yes.
Yeah. Let them give them time to explain
Paint the fucking picture. They're the brushes. That's the canvas. Yeah. Let them tell the story. The fuck are they hired for?
Yeah. Give them time. Oh, man, Tony, I can't believe all of this stuff that they've went through as friends. Let's talk about remember this, remember that. Yeah, and this happens. Oh, my God, that's terrible. That as opposed to, all right, look at, she turned. Oh, that sucks. Next matchup.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
These guys are getting these stories over to the TV audience. Give them time to work.
It happens way too much in AEW, and that's something I definitely want to see changed. Moving on. Swerve Strickland, Christian Cage, AEW World Championship match. This is the second of 3 main events here for AEW at Double or Nothing. Clearly, it wasn't main eventing. So we got a nice callback. Some decent story here with some history between these two. I think AEW did a very admirable job of painting the picture as to why this match is happening. Christian Cage, what did he do? He didn't do anything, but the story was he was handpicked by the Elite as someone who had prior history with Swerve Strickland because Swerve Strickland has been making some off-color comments about the Elite and the management style and the fact that they attacked Tony Khan, basically called them cowards and said it was a pussy move, basically. So what did the Elite do? All right, you want to fuck with us? We're going to go back and we're going to give you your first championship match against someone that you have big history with, and that is Christian Cage. So they made sense of it. They made it work. The callbacks were right. And if there's anything that we know about Swerve Jesse and Christian Cage, we knew it was going to be a great match. They needed to just tie up those loose ends and tell some decent story to make us care, and that's exactly what they did.
Christian Cage is coming off a fucking loss.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that. Yes.
He's coming off a loss. He lost his title. He went away for a little bit. Good. All looks good there. Came back after losing his title to getting an opportunity at the top title in the company. I refer back to my comments about Mercedes. Why? How? How did we get there? I like the callback. I love the booking of the match. And I love the match. I just want to know how Christian Cage got this fucking title match. That's it. That's it. I'm not even opposed to it. I was opposed to Mercedes having the match in general.
I just told you.
Wait, why?
The Elite gave him the opportunity because...
Why?
Because their power corrupt.
I would like a reason as to how and why he got this match.
That is the reason. What else? What other reason you want me to give you?
It's not a...
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, at least it's a fucking reason. We got no reason for Mercedes.
He got no reason. Give me... The guy just lost a damn title match, bro. Give me something.
He did. You're not wrong. I know.
You gotta give me something. There has to be someone who is in the perfect position to go for a world title match with the world champion other than someone who just lost his title and then wasn't on TV at all. Something.
This was a very good match.
Yep.
Take nothing away from these two guys. They're both fucking great. Christian is one of those guys that is just having such a career renaissance. It's just an amazing thing to see at his age, how great he's been operating, how great he moves, how great his character work is. Just fucking unbelievable. You know, at one point or another, we hated this signing, and all of a sudden, this became one of the best signings that Tony Khan has ever had in 5 years.
He's so good. This was a diamond in the rough signing for TK. This was such a good pickup.
Completely changed his entire career. Swerve, say what you want about Swerve. Unbelievable pro wrestler. Love Swerve. Got nothing but respect for what he brings to the table and what he does in that ring. Does his title reign at this point after he's won it at Dynasty. Does it feel secondary? Yes, it does. I'm not going to bullshit you.
Now, we were getting that sentiment like 1 week after he won the title.
Yes.
And I wasn't about that. I shit all over that. Like, you give it time. Guys, you have to give it some kind of fucking time. Well, now here we are, at this pay-per-view, and now I'm ready to say, yeah, they're kind of failing Swerve right now.
It is a secondary title run. It feels that way. It's not the most important thing on the show. Going into Forbidden Door, I don't know how up front and center the Elite storyline is going to be. I don't know what's going to take precedent on that show. You would think that with the World Championships being on the line, that New Japan and AEW's World Champions should be at the top of the billing, and then the Elite's going to be kind of underneath that. We don't know. We don't even know who Swerve's going to be defending. We'll find out Wednesday.
Not only that, with the return of MJF,
yes,
all I see is a fucking ticking clock on Swerve's title reign.
I mean, so you think that Swerve is second or third from the top. Now he's fourth because MJF is coming back, and MJF is now a bigger deal as a non-champion than the actual AEW champion is.
Yep.
So
all it's gonna take for me is to see or hear MJF say the words world title.
Yep.
And right away, Swerve's reign is just about done.
Yeah. And that is not Swerve's fault. I don't want anybody to mix up my words. This is not Swerve's fault. They failed him as soon as he won the title. That Wednesday, they failed him. I'm not pussyfooting around it. They failed him.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
Yeah.
Plus, he can't block me more. So what the fuck? I mean,
listen, I don't understand that. I really don't.
I don't get it. I think they failed him. I think Swerve has done everything that was asked of him. I think he looks great as champion. He carries himself as a fucking champion. He's hitting the fucking media scenes and hitting the fucking outlets and carrying himself and putting AEW over, as the company to want to be. And he's doing it all. But then when it comes to creative, I think they're failing him.
Regardless, I still feel the way that I do going into this and coming out of it. It's just the way that I feel. And hopefully they can right the ship. I don't want the rumors and the murmurs and the speculation to be, Swerve's a transitional champion. I hope that's not the case. He's working right now at the top of his game, and it would suck if that is the case. So hopefully they could figure something out going into this show coming up on Long Island, Forbidden Door, going into All In. I don't know.
I feel like in a perfect world, by the time MJF had come back, because this was a return a little bit sooner than I anticipated. I think more than anyone anticipated. In a perfect world for me, by the time MJF came back, Swerve will have been on an extremely fucking dominant run as the new world champion, as a force going so fucking hard that no one can fucking touch him. And then all of a sudden, MJF comes back. It's like, ooh, now I can't wait to see this fucking match.
Yeah.
As opposed to what we got now, MJF is back, Swerve is champion. Oh, well, time for Swerve to give it up. The match itself doesn't even come off as like a big collision. It just comes off as, well, looks like Max is getting his title back.
Well, we got Swerve coming out. He had inspiration on his ring gear from the movie The Warriors. Strickland comes out looking great with Nana. Nana is back. We saw him on Wednesday. Christian comes out with the Patriarchy. We'll pick this thing up towards the middle of the match. This was a great match. Started off a little bit slow. Both guys turned it around. Crowd, honestly, was a little drained coming into this with the length of the show. But by the end of this thing, they were all in on what these guys did in the ring. So Strickland connected on the outside with a Fosbury flop. Strickland then looks over at Mother Wayne. Jesse winks at Mother Wayne. So he knows the deal. He knows what's up.
That's a very good wink.
He knows what's up with Mother Wayne.
Man.
He missed the house call. This allowed Christian Cage to sink in a sharpshooter. Strickland fought out. Both men, they bonk heads. Mother Wayne grabbed the world title. Nana is over there. He takes the world title from Mother Wayne. Nick showed up, and he was there on the outside. Showed the ref that Nana had the title. He was caught red-handed. He was kicked out and ejected. Cage threw Strickland to the floor and took the ref as Killswitch and Nick attacked before Cage tried picking up all these pieces that were just falling right in front of him. He only got a 2 count. Mother Wayne took the referee this time. Killswitch tried a headbutt, hit Cage instead. Nick was dropped with a big-time back body drop to the floor. Cage dodged a swerve stomp in the ring and hit a spear for 2. So Nick took the referee again. Killswitch was about to interfere again, but the ref called him and ejected not only Nick Wayne, he ejected Luchasaurus, he ejected Mother Wayne, the entire patriarchy, goodbye. Sent to the back. So Strickland connected on a rolling flatliner. Cage rolled outside and tried to set up the ring steps. Strickland was waiting for him. Cage raked the eyes, wanted a powerbomb off the apron. Strickland caved the chest in with a double stomp. Strickland tried for a spear through the ropes, but Cage sidestepped, and Strickland smacked the steps. So he did, not Darby Allin style, but he did at least hit the steps. Cage tried taking off the top turnbuckle pad. Referee had his attention turned, and Nick Wayne all of a sudden comes back out, flew in with a cutter inside. Cage hits the kill switch to follow up.
It's Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, sorry. He went to the outside. He was hiding underneath the ring. So Cage hits the kill switch. He only gets a 2 count. Nana ran down to the ring and chased Nick Wayne off with a pipe. Cage cleared off the Spanish announce table. Cage wanted kill switch, but Strickland just delivered an absolutely devastating swerve stomp on Christian Cage on this announce table. It sounded like fucking just this devastating metal sound. I don't know what these tables are made out of in AEW, but it sounded vicious.
Steel.
What
the fuck? They have not broken a table in months.
I know. Both beat the count back in. They trade big shots back and forth. Cage went for another spear. Strickland hit a house call out of midair while Christian was attempting a spear, which was one of the best spots of the entire night. So house call out of nowhere midair. It's led to a swerve stomp off the top rope. Nails it. And then he goes for another house call. Connects with that for the 1, 2, 3. He retains the AEW title as he was going to do anyway. Post-match, Strickland celebrated with Floyd Money Mayweather on the outside. And next to him, I saw Q from Impractical Jokers as well. I love the fact that Swerve is finishing the matches off now with the house call. I think the house call is a better finish than the Swerve Stomp is. Just my personal preference. It's a little bit more impactful. But what these guys created, Jesse, was a great championship match. Decent story. We just hope for better moving forward with Swerve's title run. And we hope Creative can really give him a hand because right now, I ain't feeling it.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic match, as always. Don't expect anything less from Swerve. I think the return of MJF is gonna just kind of put a stifle on Swerve's momentum, because even if MJF doesn't address the world title at all, it's already planted in all of our head. We already know. The problem is MJF is the number 1 babyface in the company.
Yeah.
Period. That's just it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts fucking about it. And the shitty part is they just recently turned Swerve babyface. So it'd be better if he was still a heel and they were avoiding these two. But now it's just this uncomfortable thing of, we know who the top guy is, we know who the champion is, and it don't look good for Swerve. It just does not look good for Swerve. If Swerve was a cowardly heel or any kind of heel right now, it would make more sense that he's avoiding MJF. He doesn't want to get involved with him because he doesn't want to lose his title, shit like that. But at this point now, you're a babyface, bro. And don't forget, you're a fighting champion. When is Max going to get his goddamn title match?
We will see. It may actually be a forbidden door. We don't know. We don't know. So at this point, this match ended around 12 o'clock. I'm like, I'm thinking about moving the stream to this afternoon, man. I don't know what's going on, but this Anarchy in the Arena was still to come, and we knew this was not going to go 5 minutes. This went long. This was long. And as like Anarchy in the Arena matches in the past, it went all over the place. It lived up to the billing of Anarchy. There was anything and everything in this match. We saw fire. We saw electrocution. We saw hanging. We saw waterboarding. We saw attempted vehicular homicide. We what else did we see? What am I missing?
It's so fucking much, dude. This match was so much fun.
This was probably, I could sit here and we can shit on the angle. Is it working? No, it's not working. It's not. It's not generating any interest. It's not generating any excitement. It's corny. It's cringy. You know, Tony Khan and the whole neck brace thing and the pile driver, it flopped. I'm sorry. It's just the way that I feel. But this match, no matter the criticisms we had, you know, why is Bryan Danielson there? Why was Eddie Kingston there? Why is Darby Allin there? We know Darby Allin's a better fit than Eddie Kingston, but how is he fucking standing? He got hit by a bus. He broke his foot. He was supposed to climb Mount Everest. He's a fucking psychopath. But he's there.
This guy no-sold getting hit by a bus.
He's there.
Let that sink in.
This match was fun. No matter what you thought of it, this was a fun match. In my honest opinion, this was probably the best Anarchy in the Arena match that they've done. Now, my question is, Jesse, to you, before we get into the breakdown of this thing, how many more times are they going to be able to do this without running out of ideas? Because I think they pretty much expended all of their ideas here, man. How much more are we going to be able to sit here and say, oh, man, this is a unique concept. I'm going to be excited to see this every year.
I think it's limitless, to be honest with you, man. How many times have we seen Hell in a Cell matches? You know,
Well,
how many times have we seen the Royal Rumble match itself? And it's only done about, 2 or 3 of these fucking things. I mean, I don't think we're anywhere near.
the Royal Rumble has stakes on the line for the biggest wrestling show of the year.
That doesn't mean they can't add some stakes to it at some point.
Have they been boring? Yes. They've actually dropped the ball on the booking. Yes. It's almost like they don't know how to book a Royal Rumble anymore.
Yeah, but there's plenty they can add to it to make it more interesting, man. I mean, going forward, you know, think about the very first ladder match that we've ever gotten, all right? And think about a ladder match that we would see now. We would go back and look at the first one and think it kind of pales in comparison, but at the time, my God, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You know, they'll find ways to up themselves. The whole fucking stadium, the arena is their playground. They can come up with something. It shouldn't be that hard. Just don't do too many of the fucking matches.
The one thing I like about these Anarchy in the Arena matches is that music continues to play throughout for just a little bit, not the entire match, but you know, the music plays throughout like at least the first 10, 15 minutes maybe. We got that with Jericho. We got that with Moxley. Tonight, or last night rather, we got, what was it that we came out with first? It was Darby Allin's music. They said, shut this shit off. I'm glad they shut this shit off because I can only listen to that one sitting, one full playthrough. Then the Elite turns their music on. Like, all right, I don't want to listen to this shit. This is not fucking Anarchy music. Then all of a sudden, Brian says, shut this shit off. Let's put the greatest wrestling theme song of all time on. And he plays Final Countdown by Europe, which is his special theme. And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. We got an epic, dude. Honestly, if you guys didn't watch it, and if you guys never heard Final Countdown by Europe, go listen to Final Countdown. That shit was fucking epic. I'm sorry. I'm a big fan of that song. That song in particular fit perfectly here. And then, Jesse, with all the plunder happening here and all the chaos, they're brawling all over the place, Matt Jackson takes the microphone and says, No. Cut this shit off. This is costing us $200,000 per playthrough. And listen, man, I'm a fucking rock guy. I'm a heavy metal guy.
Fucking popped for that.
I'm a rock, bro. Matt Jackson is the biggest prick of the week, man. This man cut the fucking song right before the fucking guitar solo came on, man. I'm like, you motherfucker, man.
Bro,
seriously?
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't pop for the song coming on. I'm like, oh, okay, they're gonna play, Final Countdown. I fucking popped like a big time fucking mark when Matt said, cut this shit off. It costs too much fucking money to keep playing this fucking song.
I wonder if that's really the case, too. Every playthrough is $200,000. I thought it was just like for the rights of the song, you use it how you want.
Oh my God, probably not. Probably not. And I hope that's a shoot because that was so good. Like, hold on. He's getting his ass beat a little. Stop. This is costing way too much fucking money.
I mean, he's like, we got a budget for Christ's sakes. Oh, really? Now all of a sudden the budget's a fucking thing, right?
What a dick. I popped for that. That was so good.
Man, that's expensive. $200,000 for that song? Holy shit.
Man.
No wonder Tony Khan doesn't break that out every time we see Bryan Danielson on pay-per-view.
I love it. I fucking love it, man.
Listen, man, if there's one thing we love about Tony Khan, he is not afraid. He knows that music is a very important part of the fucking overall presentation, man. He is not afraid to buy rights to music, man. He did it with Slayer. He did it with Alter Bridge. He did it with fucking Final Countdown. Countless others, Orange Cassidy. I mean, he just gets that. I love that aspect about it. He's not afraid to drop money on music.
Yep, gotta love that part, man. It is important, and he'll shell it out if he deems it worthy, necessary, or if the fans will love it enough, he'll do it.
So the music stops, and we get no more music for the rest of the night. I'm like, oh, fuck. So we get chaos. So everybody else is fighting around the arena. Perry and Allen are out of the arena. They're in the parking lot. Everybody else is fighting in and around ringside in the crowd. Okada brings up a Rainmaker Drive street sign that he holds up, and he clears the barricade on a dive onto Danielson. Allen, at this point, we go to a break in the back here. Allen is drowning Jack Perry in a bucket of ice-cold water on the outside. That was, you see those large metal buckets with, beverages in it. I mean, man, Perry, I wonder what Jack Perry was thinking for the 5 seconds he was submerged, man. That shit is fucking scary. I'm like, holy shit.
I remember watching this spot like, Jesus Christ, drowning? Why is this spot even fucking necessary?
Listen, man, it's Anarchy in the Arena.
Nope. They made sense of it a little bit later.
They did. So they continue to the parking garage. Perry smashes Allen with a pipe. We go back to the arena now. We move away from these two guys. Bucks hit a shatter machine on Harwood, so they use their own finishing move on FTR. Danielson is fighting off the Bucks. Accidentally hit Okada. Danielson tried to dive on to Okada on the outside, but ate a chair shot midair. We go outside where Jack Perry is in a bus. There's a scapegoat signature on the bus. He crashes into a pile of wreckage, and we start questioning, is Darby Allin in the wreckage? Is Darby Allin in this wreckage that we didn't see? We cut back to the action. We go back. Is Darby Allin in this fucking debris that Jack Perry's driving this fucking truck through? Now, I don't know what had happened here. All of a sudden, we see Jack Perry behind the driver's wheel, and he's fucking passed out. Like he, vehicular homicide here on Darby Allin. He's in rough shape behind the wheel. That's the last we see of him for a little bit. We go back to the ring. Nicholas is dropping a spike pile driver on the ring apron as Matthew is in a powerplex from FTR. Okada is holding his own against both Dax and Cash. Chair shot from earlier with Danielson flying into the chair. He's bleeding, as is Dax. Okada faked a Rainmaker pose and flipped off everybody in Las Vegas. He hits Wheeler with a picture-perfect dropkick and then follow up with a tombstone. All of a sudden, we see Darby Allin stumbling down the aisleway, so we don't even know if he was in the fucking debris that Jack Perry took this vehicle into. So he's walking down the aisle, and was he hit by the bus? If he was, I don't know what the fuck he's doing walking. Really?
Yeah, really.
So Allen's fighting back. He hits a code red. Bucks trip him up, hits a double power bomb through chairs on the outside. The Bucks drag Allen up the ramp, and they told them to raise up the stage because they came up through a platform in the center of the stage, and they lay Darby Allin on the platform, and they send him back down to hell. So he lowers on the entrance ramp, and he disappears for a little bit. Danielson makes the save. He's going at it alone against the Elite. Nicholas sends him off the stage, throws him off the stage. Matthew smacks him into the giant Parker chips before hitting a TK driver onto Danielson on the chips. FTR makes the save. Nicholas was sent into the LED board on the stage. Wheeler sets up a table. Okada appears. Hits a DDT. Sets Wheeler up as Nicholas and Okada hit double dives through tables onto FTR. Jack Perry appears all of a sudden. He emerges from the vehicle that was crashed backstage. He appears. He's soaking wet. He walks through Gorilla. He sees Tony Khan sitting in Gorilla. He grabs Tony Khan by the throat. He drags him away, and that's the last we see of Tony Khan. Allen appears on the stage with a flamethrower right as Jack Perry walks out to stage with Tony Khan. He throws Tony Khan down the aisleway. Tony goes tumbling down the aisleway. He disappears. Darby Allin's spraying the fire extinguisher, the flamethrower, and he burns Jack Perry with the flamethrower. Bro, I've seen people lit on fire before in staged ways, man. Whatever the fuck they did here, man, this looked great. They burned Jack Perry from his feet up, man. Half of his body was engulfed in fire, and then the Bucks come over immediately with the fire extinguishers and start putting this guy out. Now, Jack Perry has had fire burning damage before to him, staged, stunted. So whatever he did, man, this visual looked fucking great. This might have been the craziest fire spot that I've ever seen.
Bro, I love this one. You know, I'm gonna sound like a little bit of a homer, you know, after not loving seeing Copeland at the top of the cage jumping down, but loving seeing Jack Perry on fire. I'm sorry. This one, I popped for this one. You know, when Darby came out with the flamethrower, you know, last time, I think I came on this show and I actually said, like, what? I mean, I don't get, what the fuck is he gonna do? Is he gonna set somebody on fire? Well, yeah, he fucking did it now. He fucking lit a man on fucking fire with that flamethrower.
You know what was even better? The crowd was chanting before this, "We want fire!
We want fire!" Yeah,
and they got fire.
They normally chant, "We want tables." We already got fucking tables, and now we want fire. Well, fine. You want fire? That I'm marked for that one. That was an awesome fucking spot, man.
Now this spot, no matter how great it looked great. The silly thing is, this man was supposedly burnt. Half of his body was burned by this flamethrower. He comes out and actually factors into the ending of the match. How the fuck did he walk out there? How did he get back in the ring after being burned?
The fire got put out, and he was soaking wet. I mean, it wasn't like they...
Let me burn you, and you go finish a fucking task.
He wasn't burned to a crisp, bro. I'm not a pro wrestler. I can't do any of the shit that these fucking guys do.
Oh, man. Listen, this was great. No matter how hokey, cheesy, or cringy you think it is, the visual of this was fucking great. Okay,
that was fun. That was really good, man.
So Allen is taken back to the ring by the Bucks. He wore this face mask because of the broken nose. He had tacks on his face mask. They took his mask off. They placed a trash can over his head. Nicholas missed a 450. Okada missed a Rainmaker. Allen hits a low blow and a coffin drop on Okada. Bucks saved the match. Bucks called for a hook or a rope to come down from the ceiling. They lowered this from the top of the arena. They hog-tied Darby Allin upside down, and they hanged this guy from his feet upside down. FTR, mind you, makes the save with the Shatter Machine. Nicholas, Okada broke it up. Harwood is about to the pile driver on Okada. Matthews swung a chair shot, and it exploded. We see an explosion from the chair shot. Okada puts a thumbtack sleeve on his arm and hits a Rainmaker on Wheeler. Okada brought in some of the Bucks' new Reebok pumps, and underneath them, they were littered with thumbtacks, faced right side up, pointed out. Allen was raised in the air at this point. Bro, they put on their shoes with the thumbtacks with the points sticking out, and they double super kick Darby Allin in the face upside down with a spiked Reebok double super kick. Fucking brutal. We didn't see a close-up of Darby's face, bro. This man, I swear to God, man, if he wasn't busted open all over his face, I don't know what the fuck's going to work there.
That was incredible, man.
Ridiculous. Thumbtack super kick with him hanging upside down, and he remained upside down. Danielson comes back in. Matthew accidentally struck his brother with a super kick with the tacks. Danielson got a shoe and leveled the Bucks. Yes, kicks by Danielson. Darby Allin's still hanging upside down. Nobody went to go save Darby Allin here. Nobody. Fans are chanting, "Please save Darby."
Please save fucking Darby.
No one does. Commentary said they're fearing for their jobs. Okada hits the Rainmaker. Bucks hit the EVP trigger. Jack Perry appears after being burned alive. Hits a charging knee on Danielson. 1, 2, 3. And the chaos that is Anarchy in the Arena is over as Jack Perry pins Bryan Danielson. The Elite thank the crowd. They hold Perry on their shoulders. And that's the way the show goes off the air.
Loved it.
This was the best Anarchy in the Arena match that they did.
Loved it. So good. So entertaining.
Anarchy.
I forgot that I was tired.
Crazy. I wasn't doing a stream at 1 o'clock in the morning, but I enjoyed what they delivered there. And the Bucks winning is the right call, because if you have Team AEW win, that basically seals the deal on this story. And it's not anywhere close to ending yet. So.
Yeah, no. After this, I was done. You text me like a little bit afterward and saying, "When's the scrum starting?" I was like, "Motherfucker, I do not give a shit when the scrum started. I'm going to bed. You want me to stay up for this show and then stay up for your media scrum? I'm sleeping."
Yeah, I watched the media scrum, unfortunately, and it almost feels like they blew right through it, honestly.
Yeah, they were all fucking tired, probably.
Yeah.
I was going to watch it this morning. Look, I'll watch it the next day, man. It's I'm beat.
AEW Double or Nothing, guys. With the minor criticisms that we had, the length of the show, shit that happened on the show that clearly shouldn't have been there. I thought this was a thumbs-up show. I thought this was a great celebration of 5 years. I thought they delivered. It was a fun show, a newsworthy show. I'm not going to sit here and tell it was the best Double or Nothing ever, but, I mean, they delivered. And like they usually do, Tony Khan is Mr. Pay-Per-View. Now we wait till Wednesday. Maybe they can get the television right. Let's start making sense of some shit. We got returns happening. Storyline should be picking up. We got a tournament that's happening that has major stakes on the line. I mean, it can't get any worse. Can't. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. We had 3,000 in here for most of the stream. Thank you guys very much for all your support. We're nearing 1,400 likes as well. We're going to get your super chats out of the way and then enjoy the rest of the day. I'm not, because it's fucking thunderstorming here in New York, and Memorial Day is a washout. So thank you guys very much for all your support. Hopefully it's better where you are. Follow Jesse and I on social media at JD from NY206, at Chi-Town Smark. Please hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications, and please go check out all the other content on the channel. There is plenty of it. Michael Krause with the $2 super chat. Good Sunday, JD and OTS. Hope all is well. I'm assuming you did this last night. Michael, thank you so very much. Executive Vice President with a new membership. Thank you. Emmanuel with a 10. It's 6 a.m. here in Italy. The show, What a Pay-Per-View, is not ended yet. I'll have a cappuccino before I go to sleep. OTS rules. Thank you, Emmanuel. Dark Effects with a $10 super chat. This pay-per-view was one that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. Some people started watching it knowing or not knowing what it was. They'll continue watching it forever just because this is the pay-per-view that never ends. It was a long one, Dark Effect. It was a long one. Hopefully things change. PMAC with a $10 super chat. If it's effed up, Willow should have had a longer title run, but on a business standpoint, I can see why Mercedes won, so she can take it to the red carpet premieres just like she did with the New Japan Championship, getting eyes on AEW. Yeah, that's what they'll use her for. She'll be at the Celtics game with it. She'll be all over the place with it. PMAC also with a $5 super chat. Mercedes is a part of that Disney family, and the Deadpool movie is coming out. You know she is going to be at the premiere. British Davis with a $10 super chat. Just want to let you know I'm still here. I do miss the old off-the-script song and Trolling Mondays, but the quality and change that you've implemented to your streams is magnificent. Love you, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you very much. Vinny with a $1.99. Not a fan of Darby Allin wanting to kill himself. I'm assuming you meaning him hanging upside down? Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking, to be honest with you.
Especially just after having Martha Hart there on the show.
Yes. Yes, Jesse thought that was a little or slightly tone deaf, but I didn't really think anything of it until he mentioned it. But having that on the show, kind of, I could see people maybe misinterpreting that, taking that the wrong way. Vinny with a $1.99. Thank you, brother. Levi with a 21. Just finished watching AEW. Hope you and Jesse have a great show, and I'll catch up once I wake up tomorrow. Peace. Well, hopefully you got to see us live, brother, because we delayed the stream. Kevin Carter with 24 months. MJF being back is only going to make AEW better off for it. Yes, indeed. Thank you for 24 months, brother. Eric Newton with 29 months. AEW really needs to work on cutting down the length of their pay-per-views. I'd rather have a shorter pay-per-view with higher quality matches than a 5-hour slog fest. I agree. Go tell that to the AEW fans defending this bullshit. Michelle with a 2. Thank God MJF is back and Darby is crazy AF. He is. Tired bonus dad with a $4.99. I'd be over the moon if I didn't have to watch another Anarchy in the Arena match for a few years. What an overbooked mess of a match. Bonus dad. I had a good time watching it. So did Jesse. I don't know. PD Shaw with the 39 months. Hey, JD and Jesse, having the Owen Cup have real stakes. A shot at the champion is great, but just a cup. Overall good pay-per-view. OTS for life. It's not just a cup anymore, brother. The World Championship's on the line. They're all in. It's their biggest show of the year. Thomas Franco, thank you for the $100 bomb earlier, brother. Funny Rob Bebe with 7 months. I got a new job. So you know what that means, JD. I'm back in the OTS VIP section, Bebe. Plus Darby Allin isn't human. And MJF is the big bad wolf. He's back. Yes. Thank you, Rob. Eric Aviles with 19 months. Don was a great pay-per-view, but MJF for me was the highlight of the entire show. We surely missed him. JD and Jesse, the best duo. OTS for life. Thank you, Eric. Funny Rob Bebe. TK is Mr. Pay-per-view and Mr. Sandman. Now, Mr. Sandman would mean, I guess he's Mr. Sandman. He put some people to sleep with the length of the show, yeah. David Thiering, thank you so much for the $100 super chat. Mason the Legend with a $199. So happy to see MJF back. Yes. Daniel Maurice with a $10 super chat. AJD Jesse, Don here in Portugal ended at 5:30 a.m. Still went to work like a zombie. Keep up the good work. Brother, I don't know how the fuck you did it. You're going to get home after your shift and go right to bed. Hacky Sack with a 19 months. The MJF return seemed so much bigger than to be done 45 minutes into a 5 or 6 hour show. Hope he's back regularly. Love to JD and Jesse in the IWC. I think they did it well, though my minor criticism. People are still talking about it. If they're still talking about it at the end of this show, you know he made that much of an impact and how much he was sorely missed. Wilhelm with the 41 months. Thank you, brother. Love your work, JD. Been with you for the past 4 years, and I thank you for staying true and not selling out. I agree 100% about MJF as the guy in AEW. Thank you, brother. Tony Brown with a $4.99. JD and Jesse, you are more than podcasters. I consider you friends. Therefore, I respect you, young men. That's why I'm here. This is sincere. Thank you, Tony Brown. Funny Rob Bebe with a $4.99. Shout out to my bros, Otis, Jeremy, Chips, Scripps, Kratos, Future, Hooli, and JP. Hashtag BayBayFam. Hashtag OTS family. PS Jesse and JD, you guys are awesome. Thank you, bro. I forgot to shout out Guardian of Chaos, Rage, and Jen as well. Thank you, Rob. Alucard with a $1.99. In Max, we trust. I don't give a fuck about the rest. Funny Rob Bebe with another $1.99. I forgot Nate TV and Yuri. Why don't you just mention the whole OTS family? Funny. Otis, 29 months. What a weekend for professional wrestling. I just wish AEW pay-per-views were shorter. Keep up the good work, JD and Jesse. Love y'all. Hashtag OTS Bloodline. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you very much. Jake Shepsky with a $1.99. Poor Acuna. Just can't catch a break. Yes, Ronald Acuna is out for the year, guys. I am aware. I would rather not talk about it, but they won the title in 21 without him, so we may have to do the same thing again this year. Gotham Guy with a $10 super chat. Almost home, driving from Vegas to see Don. An 8-hour drive, 2 tanks of gas, and multiple repeat stops, but totally worth it. Great show, and I hope we as a crowd made up for the shit crowd from last year. You guys were loud. You guys did a good job tonight. Though the attendance was only 7,500 or so. The years prior, you guys had 11,000 and 14,000 in the same arena. So hopefully AEW can generate that interest back where fans willingly want to come out to the shows. Alucard with a $1.99. I would book MJF to beat all of TK's Golden Boys. It's going to be interesting to see what story they plug him into. Lewis with a $4.99. Didn't watch the pay-per-view last night, but I'm here for you two. Also, JD, sorry for Acuna. Thank you, Lewis. Bevlar with a $1.99. Did you buy the Megatron? Yes, I did. Mr. Team Bringer with a $4.99. Which direction would you guys go for Swerve at All In? MJF for Swerve or Ospreay for Swerve? I'm going Ospreay. What about you, Jesse?
Ospreay. Sure.
George Captur with a $10. With MJF coming back, AEW has some positivity moving forward, and there's potential for sure. However, Tony Khan is still booking and writing. I remain pessimistic. You're okay, man. Listen, everybody I think is pessimistic. AEW delivers great pay-per-views. We know this. It's a common thing. Television, another story. It's been weak. It's been lacking. We'll see what he does on Wednesday. Dylan Cummings with a $1.99. JD, what did AJ Francis say to you? I told AJ Francis when I met him at the WrestleMania tailgate, I told him I apologized for what I said. I did not want you guys to get fired, and I only have a problem with creative. He looked at me and said, I get it, man. I get it. You know, everybody's got a character in entertainment. I get it. And then he smiled and walked away. That's all he said to me. Huh? What'd you say?
I don't know. I would have told him I think he sucks.
Listen, man, he was at the Hog Show, and I called his match. He teamed with Cashflow Ken Broadway. He looked pretty decent. He fit the role very well at the last Hog Show I was at. So, no matter what Sap says on social media, I don't know what he thinks AJ said or if AJ told him something different, but that's what AJ told me, and I apologize. And you know, maybe I shouldn't have, but listen, man, the fact of the matter is, I did not want any of them to get fired. But I said exactly what was going to happen, and Jesse could attest to this. Hit Row was going to be fired in 4 months. They were fired in what, Jesse? 2?
No, less than 4.
6 weeks? What happened? We didn't want them to get fired. It was just the makings of a failure because of who was running the show. So who was right and who was wrong? I got blamed for being right.
Yep.
Sorry. I don't need Saps reporting for that. Writing was on the wall before they even got called up. Yep. Calvin with a $4.99. I was 10 years old watching you make fun of fat slobs like Wings of Redemption. Just turned 20. Thanks for the childhood memories. Jesus Christ. Now, those are the Call of Duty days, bro. Appreciate you. Lunar Guardian with 21 months. Rest in peace, Bill Walton. Benjamin, thank you for the generosity tonight, brother. Get well, and please get back to us. 100% healthy. Trevor, my guy Trevor. $9.99. Some bangers on this show. Just the fun out of wrestling. The 3 matches from 9 to 10-ish. Dragged a bit, but regardless, had fun. Storm and Deep, technical masterpiece. Possible meet and greet for Forbidden Door. Don't know yet, Trevor. I'm kind of leaning against it, honestly. Mason the Legend with a $1.99. I give this show a 7.5. Very solid show. I would say so, around that 7 mark for me as well, yeah. Double or Nothing is greater than King of the Ring. Yes, I thought this show was better than King of the Ring, yes.
Hold on 1 second. I am going to Master IC Victory. Jesse, please turn your mic level up. You are much lower than JD and difficult to hear when listening at Lil Wine. Okay, hold on. I didn't touch anything. I'm taking a picture of my mic level. All right? And Master IC Victory. I'm going to post this picture on Twitter right now.
What is he talking about? You were fine the whole show.
I'm
Jesse's not even
posting-
saying anything. Jesse's speaking softly now.
I'm going to post this picture that I just took right now on X. And I want you to tell me what you want me to do from this point. I'll post it. I'm going to take it down in about 10 minutes or so. But I'll give you time to see my mic level. Boom, right now. Post it. Right there. On X. At Chi-Town Smart.
Vinny,
So-
$1.99. Takesha and Jay White need to leave ASAP. Tyler Marine with 11 months. 1 month till I hit a year in the venue. It's been a rough couple of months, but I'm happy. I am part of the community that loves one another. OTS for life. Thank you, Tyler.
Cody Snyder. Yeah, I don't believe Jesse would have said that to AJ. Cody, you do not know Jesse. At all.
Well, according to Sap, I wouldn't say half the shit I say online about his shitty content to his face. He's got another thing coming, because I'd absolutely tell him to his face his content is boring.
I don't think people really. You guys know the me that you see. You don't know me. And the best I can tell you is that my wife, who is constantly in my chat and everything, she'll tell you that I'm a real life fucking asshole. And most of my friends will attest to that, dude. I am a prick about certain things. I don't try to be. I just come off. I just do what I feel at that time. I'm gonna try to be a prick. I don't try to be a prick. But my God, you have any idea how many times I've said shit like that to people in their fucking face? You can say it without being an asshole. I'm not saying I'll be a prick about it. I'm like, oh, AJ, nice to meet you, man. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, man. I am not a fan of what you do in the ring. I'm sorry. But I mean, I think you're a cool dude. I'm not saying I'll be there. You a bitch and you can't fucking wrestle. I ain't saying I'm gonna do some shit like that. That's just disrespectful. There's nothing disrespectful about saying, hey, glad to meet you, you know, but I'm just not a fan of what I've seen you do in the ring yet. Maybe you'll get better. I don't know. You know?
Everybody's
you guys don't
feelings
know
are
me.
so fucking... They're so weak, bro. Like, are we not allowed to say something sucks or someone's content sucks? Like...
You guys, do not know me at all, bro.
Yes, I think most of the creators' content suck in the community. I don't give a fuck. I got my platform. Listen, man, these people got no problem throwing their weight around. Sab's got no problem throwing his weight around. I'm going to throw my fucking weight around, too. I've earned it. I've earned that.
I pride myself on look, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm going to be honest. At times, will I sugarcoat the honesty? Yeah, sure I will. But I'm not going to lie and say I'm a fan of you when I'm not. I'm not. I don't like, I don't like how you're portrayed. I don't like, I think you could improve here and there. I'm not trying to be a dick, bro, but you don't think you're the absolute best wrestler on the planet, do you? You know you have some flaws, right? Well, I'm just here to say these are the things I think need to work. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, bro, but no, I'm not a fan of your in-ring work. I would say it to his fucking face.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Anyway, Alucard, $1.99. Mercedes Flair getting title shots out of nowhere. Yes. Zero with a 20. JD, been following you for 10 years now since I was a teenager. Keep doing what you're doing. Can you call me a goon once? Zero. You are a fucking goon. Cody Snyder with $2 super chat. Real fire. Burn me a jackass. Yes, real fire. Fry me a river. Benjamin with a $50 super chat. Moving to the cancer hospital tomorrow to get my treatment done. Great job, Benjamin. Everybody loves Benjamin. Get well, brother. Get to the VIP room safe and sound, man. And 100% healthy. Ryan Armstrong with a $5 super chat. TK wants everyone on pay-per-view. We don't need that. You have 3 shows with AEW. Some storylines that can be blown out on TV rather than pay-per-view. Agree. Follow the WWE format. Yes. Not everything needs to be on pay-per-view. Demand. Zay Demand with a $20 super chat. Sorry, JD. Missed the King of the Ring stream. Watching it now. Would be better to have Drew vs. Punk at SummerSlam 24, assuming Punk is ready. Per Punk screwing Drew in Glasgow. Gunther versus Drew is big, but Drew versus Punk screams SummerSlam. Yes, I agree. I think Drew McIntyre is walking out with the championship, though. The Bastard with 13 months. GOAT JD, pretty good pay-per-view. A lot of guys falling out there on their necks in the show. And tough loss for the Braves, losing Ronald Acuna for the rest of the season. Yes, we've been through this once before. Bastard. Brian Owens, 15 months. Will Tony have Mercedes break Jade's TBS title undefeated record? Probably.
I would doubt it.
Vincent Moore with a 2. Tony Storm's press conference was so funny. Yeah, she took a question and someone asked her what inning was it in and then got up and left. Bucks After Dark with a $4.99. Funny thing about Wolf of Wall Street, he did end up fucking leaving. Max wants you to think that, man. He's working everybody. Just go along with it, please. He ain't going nowhere right now. Ali with a 5. Hey, JD, since MJF is back, does he factor into getting his championship back or still feud with Adam? Well, I would have him in the Owen. If he's healthy, put him in the Owen. Alex Tudor, 1 month as a Romanian. Love these early shows and streams. OTS for life. Thank you, brother. The John Wick of Spider Hunters, Nate TV, 22 months. I think because a spider attacked JD weeks ago, JD might have put a curse on me. It's over 90 degrees in Florida. I'm fighting bees in my house. Uh-oh. I hate bees, bro. Get them away from me. We got a $1.99 from Chris Faplander. Oh, man.
Oh.
Hey, JD and Kevin. Great work as always. Who the fuck is Kevin? Is your name Kevin now?
You have a cat named Kevin?
I don't know whose stream are you watching, Chris Faplander. Not ours. Dom Wappa with 11 months. Hey, JD, I love the show last night. TK's Mr. Pay-Per-View. MJF is back. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Dom. I appreciate you, man. Julia's Charisma with a 22 months. Cheers to more OTS shows. Keep being the ace. Okada, Ospreay, Mone, all champions. So let's see what TK does with their booking. Hopefully he books them right. And new Bendy Comics with 21 months. Tanahashi looked like he was held hostage at the scrum. Also, AEW has a movie coming out, I heard, based on Darby never dying, called Escaping North Korea. Yes, Tanahashi looked like he was bored out of his fucking mind. Hopefully, Tony bought him a couple of beverages at the end of the scrum. Guys, that's everything.
Why was he there?
He was sitting there. I don't know. He was apparently Tony Khan's backup for the Elite.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Guys, that's everything, man. We got nothing else for you. We're tapped out. And listen, I got to go take a nap now because I got Raw to watch and cover later. What are you doing?
So my kids just got home. Well, they got home a long time ago when we started this stream. They were gone for the whole weekend with Nana, not Prince Nana, your grandmother. So I'm gonna go hang out with them. Have not seen them all weekend, and we're gonna do the Memorial Day thing and grill some stuff and all that stuff, and then yeah, we'll be hanging out tonight, man.
There you go. Love it. I ain't doing nothing. It's fucking thunderstorming and raining like a motherfucker. So I may grill some burgers on the indoor grill and take a nap. And I'll be with you guys tonight for the Monday Night Raw post show. Apparently, we have Ilya Dragunov and Ricochet in a rematch from the King of the Ring tonight. Oh boy.
Speed?
No speed.
Oh, okay.
No speed. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Unbelievable stream. Thank you for 3,000. Sometimes it actually aids us to do the show the next day, because I don't think we would have had 3,000 last night.
No, be fucking 1,500. Doesn't be half asleep, falling asleep on a damn podcast.
Yeah. Thank you guys for all the support, man. Follow Jesse on social media at Chi-Town Smart. Go follow his YouTube channel as well. Please make sure you guys hit that thumbs up down below. And make sure you guys go follow me as well at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button. Go check out all the other content on the channel. Jesse's channel is linked in the description below. Just click his name. It'll take you right to his channel. Please continue to hit that thumbs up. And for all my audio heads out there, listen to the podcast on the audio side of things, I'd love a 5-star rating. Leave me a rating on Spotify and iTunes. This will be up later tonight, as soon as it's done processing. And I will see you guys later tonight for another stream, man. Monday Night Raw live from the Beer Garden right here on OTS. Until then, I'll see you tonight, and you'll see Jesse and I back on Wednesday for more AEW coverage right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.